We're
I
live.
don't know which fluent's going to be here today, regular fluent or troll fluent. I can't make any promises.
Can anybody else make any promises?
It's going to be electric.
I go with the flow. I go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Mars, don't go with the flow. Be the flow. But nonetheless, though, we getting straight to it. You said it's going to be electric chill. We getting straight to the meat and potatoes, as you would say, right from the top. I want to know, has anybody's opinion changed on who's going to win the series and in how many games based on the first two games?
No.
I had the Miami Heat. I had the Denver Nuggets in 5, and I can't say with 100% certainty that I'm coming off that because I'm not, right? But for what Denver is doing, of all the teams that I've seen in the playoffs, the one team that has made adjustments and has countered any adjustment, it's been Denver. And I do think that Mike Malone, I think Spo is a better coach than Mike Malone, but I do think that Mike Malone has countered adjustments just as good as anybody else. So I know that whatever Spo throws at him, I think he'll be ready for it. And I think they'll be ready to handle the Miami Heat tonight. I think they win tonight.
Well, I never gave my take. On the series, I had the Nuggets in 6, so I got them losing 2 games. I didn't think they would split the first initial home stretch. Didn't think that was going to be a thing. I thought it would be a more win 2, lose 2, win 2 kind of ordeal. But hey, it is what it is. Nothing changed in my opinion. I don't think KCP is going to come out and have 3 of the worst fouls I've ever seen him have in the last couple of years. It was crazy. Bonehead fouls. I don't think KCP does that. I don't assume MPJ is going to be a terrorist. He wasn't a terrorist against us. I'm glad he showed out this series and did what I thought he was going to do against the Lakers. But I don't think MPJ is going to play like this. Jokic is going to carry.
Mars, Influent, have you guys changed anything?
I believe I had Denver in 5 or 6.
I think it was 5.
I'm probably more comfortable with Denver in 6. So I guess that's me changing. I think Denver's going to win the series, but I thought they would split the first 2. I thought they'd lose game 1 and then win game 2. It was the other way around. But I probably have Miami winning another game. If I had to guess, I'd probably say game 5. I think I think Denver win the next 2 in Miami. And then back at home in Denver, I think Miami will get a consolation win. And then Denver will close out in 6. But I've been wrong the whole time, so...
And I've been right the whole time. So I said Heat in 6. I'm saying Heat in 6. It's going to be Heat in 6. You should have kept yourself up in the top middle there, Ron, because all with your red shirts representing Miami and the Heat. I'm assuming that's why you all wore red today. Heat in 6. Why would I change? I'm El Fuego.
You think the Miami Heat win an NBA championship, Tone?
Yes, that's what I picked. Absolutely.
You think the Miami Heat win an NBA championship, and that's going to be based.
So. The dog thinks so. Kobe thinks so. We all in.
That's going to be based solely on them. All right. That's going to be.
I'm not changing. I'm not saying that you're changing, but
I just would figure that after last game, and not to be reactionary, but after last game and after them stealing one in Denver, I would think that you guys might be like, okay, this trend is not dead yet. Jimmy is still the man.
They're changing already. They went from the Nuggets in like 5 to maybe the Nuggets in 6. And what happens when the Heat win tonight is gonna be like, maybe it's gonna be the Nuggets in 7. And then when they're up, it'll probably be 2-2 going back to Denver. Let's be honest. That's when everyone will start to change. When the Heat are up 3-2 heading back to Miami, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard not to say, okay, maybe the Heat got this.
Ticket, have you came off your pivot?
I'm fine sticking with Denver in 5, but I'm more comfortable with 6. But if they win in 5, I'm not going to be surprised.
But when they lose tonight, you're going to do what you did last series. Oh, okay, well, in 6, in 7.
I picked. Well, if Miami just come out with a game plan that Denver seems to have no counter for, I'll say I think Miami's going to win the series. I'm not going to just stand on my guns for no reason. I've done that with Phoenix and I've done that with Boston and it didn't go great, and I did that with Philly as well. So now I think it probably makes sense if I see something that probably looks like a good counter, I'm probably going to change my mind because that probably makes the most sense.
And I'm trying to figure out what that good counter is because I think we've seen everything that we can possibly see from Spo. So he knows what the Denver offense is. They know what Miami is running. So we've seen that matchup zone. We've also seen their one-on-one game. And Joker is who Joker is, right? So with that being said, I mean, I don't know how much more Spo can do. Is he going to dig more into his bench? Is he going to go to U7? Is he going to go to him now? That's right. So I mean, what else can Spo possibly do? Is he going to extend this? Is he going to extend the zone and instead of having Gabe Vincent at the top of the zone, he's going to have two big. He's going to put Bam at the top of the zone instead. I mean, when I think about the other things that Spo could throw, I think he's thrown just about everything at Mike Malone. And
I think Miami could try to push the pace a little, especially in the first quarter, and get that slow-footed Jokic leave him back there in the dust. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, Joker is not slow. Joker is not slow-footed. I mean, Joker. I originally thought that. I did. I originally thought that until I watched him outrun Anthony Davis. And until I watched him outrun Anthony Davis, until I saw him speed the game up, I was thinking to myself, Joker is a load. So there's no way.
Him and Anthony Davis were in a foot race, and they actually tried.
He's not slow north to south. He's slow east to west.
That's what I'm thinking, Mars. Like, so we're in transition, and we go, like you said, from north to south, and either he gets the ball off the backboard or somebody else gets it, and he goes. He's a lot faster than what I thought. And again, that's again because he lost 35 pounds. So he's a little faster than what he used to be. But I'm interested to see if Spo can do anything else more than what he's already done. I don't think he can do any more.
I think in spurts, man, because it's different in Miami. It's, I bring up the I know you guys hate this, the altitude in Denver. It's not. They're back in Miami now. I'm not saying the whole game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they came out in the first quarter and were like, let's run a little. Let's get some easy buckets. Because if we can get some easy buckets early, and everybody who's played basketball knows this, you get a couple easy buckets early, the rim starts to feel a little bit bigger, and your shots start to go down a little bit easier. So if they don't do it, I'd be surprised if they didn't try to just get some easy dunks and layups early from running a little bit. They can't do it all game. We know they're for them to beat Denver, they got to slow it down, mucky it up a bit. We get that, and knock down shots. I just think it would behoove them to try and get some early buckets, fast, easy buckets.
Mm-hmm. I think the only adjustment I will see from Spo that I will want to see is somehow getting rid of some of these Kyle Lowry minutes. That's about it. Other than that, he's golden. These Kyle Lowry minutes.
Kyle Lowry alone.
Listen, hey man,
you don't like Kyle Lowry?
Didn't he come up big with them?
That's what I thought.
Man,
he did.
Nah, listen.
Kyle start coming off that pick and roll. What he hit back-to-back threes?
Right.
It's at a certain point in time, you put Kyle Lowry in the game just goes to hell for you. I just eliminate Kyle Lowry minutes, put him in different spurts. I don't know. That's the only adjustment I can see.
I don't know about that one.
I'm a professional hater. Kyle Lowry, I just don't like what I see from him all the time. He might come up big, maybe in a moment or two, but he's too costly in my opinion. That's the only adjustment I can see him making. Other than that, the Heat are playing their game.
Ticket, I heard you chime in. Have you changed your opinion on this series at all?
Actually, I didn't chime in. I just wanted to listen to what everybody else was saying first. I heard Lowe come on the show after yesterday and said he had to come on and save the show yesterday. I don't know what that was. As far as
Save it.
We was doing just fine before he showed up.
All Lowe does is drop the basketball IQ. IQ, that's his name.
Oh man,
he went on Open Gym yesterday and said he had to come in and save the show yesterday.
No, you did not.
I heard he got cooked on open court last night for like an hour.
He 1000% got cooked. It was bad.
By who?
Who do you think? Like, come on. Respect me a little bit.
Bad week so far this week, and it's gonna continue. But so yeah, last time I checked, the numbers are still up, even when you're not here. So yeah, the show is
we're doing just fine, brother. We're doing just fine.
You are the legend of losing. Now, my opinion haven't changed, man. I think Miami wins the next two. I think they win tonight.
I like that even better.
As I said, man, look, I disagree with Dom said about Kyle Lowry. I think Lowry's NBA Finals experience is showing. He's been very big in this series. He's hit big, timely shots for them when they needed them. Especially last game, he hit big, timely shots when they needed him. He doesn't hit those shots he hit. We didn't even talk about the shots he hit, coming off the screen, pulling up for three. Shots he hit in the series, the plays he made off the pick and roll, alley-oops to Bam and stuff like that. Lowry's championship experience, and that's what the separator is for me in this series. They got more experienced guys who are experienced at this thing. Kevin Love's championship experience, being able to come in, take a charge, being able to come in, knock down threes, being able to come in, get 10 rebounds. all this stuff adds up and helps. And I've said this 1,000 times, and I said this before the series, and guys laughed at me when I said that, Bam was going to eat this series. That's not going to change. Bam is going to continue to eat. Bam is averaging 23.5 points, over 10 rebounds a game, and 4.5 assists. Right now, on Jokic, he's the finals MVP. His numbers have went up in this series from his regular season numbers.
I would love to see that.
So
Can Bam be your best player ticket? Can Bam be your best player on a championship winning team?
No. In a series, yes. In this series, yes, because Jokic don't play no D. In this series, you can't ask Jokic, go lock down Bam. Bam is shooting over 50% on jumpers this series. Everybody keeps talking about how many.
Did they make an adjustment? Did they put like a Aaron Gordon on Bam or something?
No, because if you do that, then you're in real trouble. Because if you do that and Eastful starts him and Kevin Love, then what you're doing is you open up the whole entire basket now. Because now he has to go out and respect Kevin Love. Kevin Love's going to hang around the three-point line, and he's going to hit threes if you don't go out there and guard him. So now he's in major trouble. Again, I like the adjustment with K-Love in the game. The minutes from the backup big man with the patchy head, they're ugly, but they're necessary. And like I said, Eastful runs a 10-man rotation. That keeps you fresh bodies in. That allows him to play how he wants to play in that zone. That's how Miami has energy down the stretch of games, because he's running fresh guys in the game the entire game. Meanwhile, the other coach is only playing 7 guys major minutes, and he's playing the 8th guy a few minutes. That's not going to work.
Mark, you have a question?
If Bam is the Finals MVP, and as of now he would win if Miami won, does Jimmy Butler not go over Dwayne Wade anymore?
No, hold on. Once again, I don't like when you guys confuse what I said. I said,
that's what I'm asking.
Jimmy, hold on. Well, you didn't have to ask me because my comment never changed. I said, if Jimmy Butler wins the championship and he's the MVP, he passes D Wade. So if he doesn't win the Finals MVP, he doesn't pass D Wade.
Right. He said that right from the beginning. He said that. I want to go back. Not just winning the NBA championship, winning the Finals MVP too. He said both of those two.
I'd love to change my words.
Can I go back a sec? Can I just pause for a second? Because you had mentioned something that I want to. You just kind of glossed over, and I want to go back a second. You said if they put like Aaron Gordon, let's say on Bam, and then Jokic has to guard Love outside. Yes. What if you got to pick your poison? Do you rather have Bam killing you inside or Kevin Love shooting from the outside?
Bam killing you inside is easier. Now Aaron Gordon is big for a guard, but he ain't big enough to stop getting Bam. Bam's still bigger and longer than Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's gonna pick up fouls guarding Bam, because if Bam, all Bam has to do is attack the basket against Aaron Gordon because he's smaller. Against Jokic, he can go to the jump shot and shoot over Jokic. I still want him attacking Jokic's chest because Jokic will pick up cheap fouls. When Jokic gets frustrated, he does stupid stuff. And that's what you got to do. I always go back and watch the series where Jokic had the most trouble. Jokic got trouble when you put pressure on him to play real defense, because what he'll do is get little cheap fouls. He'll do stupid stuff like throw dudes on the ground, smack dudes upside the head, or get the clear path foul he got on
Bam,
because Bam is outrunning him down the court. And that's frustration. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all, Bam is going to eat this entire series, bro. He's more athletic. He can get up and down the court, and that's going to wear Jokic out because the coach is not going to go use Thomas Bryant 10 minutes in this series. He's not going to give.
I just wonder.
To answer your question, Tone. Yeah. To answer your question, Tone, the poison that I would pick would be Kevin Love, because I'm not sure he's going to hold up. If I had to pick between the, I'm not gonna pick Bam, because I think Bam is doing exactly what Ticket said he was going to do. So I'm going to take the less of the two evils.
And that's where I was going. And that's where I was going.
Kevin Love, because I don't think that he's going to hold up.
What I'm saying is,
if it's a big if, but if I try Gordon on Bam and he's able to do a better job than Jokic, which he might, right? He's more athletic, he's whatever. If he could do a better job, and I got to live with Kevin Love,
right?
What's going to happen what's going to happen after the first 5 minutes when you take Kevin Love out the game and put Bam back to the 5? What are they gonna have? Jokic guarding the undersized guard?
Well, that's a big. Well, you use Kevin Love, so I'm like,
well,
I'm okay.
That's the idea, though, right there, Ticket, because we already know that Kevin Love, we already know that Bam and Joker are the mismatch. We already know that that's the mismatch. So I'll eat what Kevin Love. I'll eat what Kevin Love does, because I already know that what I'm gonna get at a Bam, I'm gonna get a lot. Right? He's gonna give me that regardless. So if I'm on the floor.
No, I'm saying he gave you almost a double in 20 minutes. Kevin
Right,
Love.
which is fine. Okay, but if I had to choose between the two of those, I'll take Kevin Love's 10 points and 11 rebounds over Bam's 26 and 13. I'll take that.
Here's what I'm saying y'all wrong. Why y'all are wrong is because he's not playing Kevin Love for extended stretches of minutes. So when Kevin Love starts for those 5 or 6 minutes, it sounds good, but guess what? Kevin Love is going to give you good production in those minutes because if he pops a couple threes, that opens up, that changes the game a little bit. That extends your defense more. So what I'm saying is once he goes out of the game, now what are you going to do when Bam is back at the 5? What are you going to do with Jokic then? So either way, he's going to play the majority of the minutes on Bam. You ain't going to hide Jokic off Bam if Bam's playing the 5 a majority of minutes in the game. They're done either way. So if you're Espo, all you do is keep playing Kevin Love in short little 5 minutes burst. You understand? Because Kevin Love is giving you, like I said, he rebounds great. Gave you 10 rebounds in 20 minutes last game? Less than 20 minutes? Right. Almost gave you 10 points. Took the charge, all this other stuff. So I like that. And then, like I said, you can't hide Jokic in this series, bro. Miami exploits Jokic every which way you want to get exploited on defense, whether it's in the pick and pop on the offside or whether it's with Bam one-on-one. Well, go watch Bam is cooking this dude. All J's in his grill.
Which is fine, Ticket, which is fine. But with that also being said, you leaving out the fact that we still had a one-possession game. And in the process of having a one-possession game, we had guys, just like what Miami had in game 1, we had guys missing shots. So if we can even that out, now we're talking about a different game. You're just talking about going after Joker, which I can appreciate. I can appreciate going after Joker, but they did get back in. I believe Miami was up 12 in the last 2 minutes.
It was a superhero effort.
Even if it was a superhero effort, this is what happens in the NBA Finals. This isn't January where something happens over the course of one game. No, this is the NBA Finals. So you're gonna get performances like that from Joker. You're gonna get performances like that.
My point to you is what I said to you the other day. When I told y'all that Miami, even though the series is 1-1, they've been controlling the series. They have. Here's the reason why I'm saying this. Go back and watch the series, all the prior series with Denver. How many points Denver been scoring? What pace was Denver playing at? They were doing pretty much what they wanted to do most of the whole playoffs. This series right here have been played at the Miami Heat's pace. So Miami is controlling the pace of this series. You're not seeing these explosion of 120, 125 point games by
Denver. Right.
They only scored 108 last game. And how many they scored the first game, Damo? Like 110?
I think 112.
110, 111. 110,
111. Okay.
That's right in Miami's range.
Right.
So now you're in Miami tonight, where Miami's probably going to get the calls. And you got to remember, go back to game 1. They only shot 2 free throws in that game and lost an 11-point game, and Jimmy played horrible.
Right.
See, these are the things y'all not looking at.
We are. Yes, that's not true, Ticket. Yes, well, stop right there. But keep going. I'm sorry.
You didn't say that though. I'm saying, listen, they won the second game, but the first game, y'all not looking at the big mistakes that Miami made early that got them out of that game. That game got out of control in the first quarter. We're not looking at they just came off a grueling 7-game series, had to fly across the country to Denver and go play a game 1 a day later. So we're not looking at that. Now they settled into the series. Now you've gone back to Miami. Now they're in their comfort zone, and they still have controlled the pace and the tempo of this series. They feel comfortable. The problem is, and said he don't think Michael Porter Jr., man, that man going to be doing the same thing tonight. I agree. I don't think KCP is going to be as horrible defensively, but with Michael Porter Jr., bro, he is going to be unplayable in this series, bro. He ain't built for this. I can look in his eyes and tell you he ain't built. His daddy more built for this than him. Because you can see his daddy on the sideline going crazy. His daddy more built for this than him. He ain't built for this.
Hey, Ticket. So I kind of asked everybody in here what changes that Miami can make.
They don't have to make no changes.
So you think just stick to your guns, attack Jokic?
Hold on. What did the great Shaquille O'Neal said the whole playoffs? Miami is who they is. They don't have to change nothing. The only thing Miami needs to do is keep shots. Listen, the whole playoffs. What have Miami done? Got wide open shots. Nobody's been able to stop them from getting good wide open looks. It's on them whether they make them or not. Even in game 1, look how many open looks they missed. All they got to do is just make their open shots and play solid defense the way they've been playing.
We can say the same thing. We can say the same thing about Denver though, Ticket. And not only can we say the same thing about Denver, that pace that you're talking about, all of a sudden Miami is now playing at a different pace. Well, wait a minute. They still had they got hot in these playoffs. They still had one of the worst offenses in the league.
Yeah, no, because they were making shots.
Not only did they have one of the worst offenses in the league, they still shot at the bottom of the league in terms of 3 points.
They wasn't making shots.
So now all of a sudden they are making shots. Now I think Miami is averaging something like 100, 105 a game in the playoffs, something like that. Denver is still outscoring them. And Denver is outscoring them because other guys are making shots. Now, from a talent standpoint, when you look at the talent overall, when you look at Denver's talent and when you look at Miami's talent, I think Denver is a more talented team. Not only is Denver a more talented team, they got the best player in the series.
He doesn't use
with them having that, they should win this series.
Yeah,
I understand your logic.
He doesn't use them. We talked about it yesterday. He doesn't use his bench. He only uses Chris Brown. What's his name? Mars?
Bruce Brown.
No.
Christian Brown.
Okay.
Christian Brown and really Bruce Brown up the bench. He doesn't. All those other guys he got, he don't use them, bro. And here's another thing that you need to understand.
Don't play as much as he should.
I'm gonna say it again. You know why Miami's 3-point percentage got better in the playoffs? When Tyler Hero got hurt, that unlocked everybody else to play. Because when Tyler Hero was on the court this year, all those minutes was 8. So now he's off the court. Other guys who could make shots and now get a chance to play. You're seeing Duncan Robinson play. What's he shooting from the 3 for the playoffs? You're seeing Gabe Vincent. Now these dudes are able to really play more because those minutes are open and they know they're not coming out the game. So now this is why you're seeing a better shooting uptick because Tyler Hero's injury freed up a lot of minutes for these guys to really get opportunities. And this is where Miami hurts you, bro. Miami comes off the bench with waves of shooters. All their team is basically filled with shooters. So even when you go to the bench, you ain't losing no shooting. You're gaining shooting when they come to the bench. With the Denver Nuggets, their problem is, like Mars said, the coach's game plan is going to be play Jokic more, play Jamal Murray more. And what happens if those dudes get in foul trouble? Because this is what's going to happen when you play them heavy minutes, high minutes. What happens when they get in foul trouble and then you got to look down the bench and go to somebody that you ain't shown faith in the whole playoffs and say, hey, man, come on, I need you to come play now, Reggie Jackson. I need you to come play now. These guys ain't played the whole playoffs. You haven't even get these guys no minutes. So they're not going to be ready for this situation because you haven't played them. Meanwhile, when Damo says something about Kyle Lowry and these guys, guess what? The coach has been playing Kyle Lowry. Guess what? The coach has been playing Martin. Guess what? The coach has been playing Gabe Vincent. Guess what? The coach has been playing Kevin Love now. Guess what? The coach has been playing the other big dude with the patchy head. So all these dudes have been getting touched.
Cody Zeller, you talking about Cody Zeller? Which does keep cooking, Ticket. Keep cooking.
So at the end of the day, all Miami, they don't have to make no adjustments. All they need to do is make shots. They've been getting open shots the entire playoffs. With Miami, you pick a poison. What do you want? Do you want to give up the alley-oop pick and roll to Bam? Or you want to give up open threes? You want to give up dribble penetration to Jimmy? Or you want to give up open threes? Pick your poison.
I think it was. I think we've talked about this before. Like the Nuggets, if you look, I was just looking at their minutes per game. Other than their top 6, which is Murray, Jokic, Gordon, KCP, MPJ, and Bruce Brown, Jeff Green and Christian Braun played 12, 13 minutes a game.
Yeah, they don't even play that much.
So they're really playing a 6-man rotation. Okay, you want to count that 10 minutes? Fine, count that 10 minutes, but that's not a lot of minutes to go around for 6 guys. They're going to get tired. Like they're going to get tired.
And to Ticket's point, when you talk about with Tyler Hero out of the lineup, well, it's kind of interesting. We talking about Tyler Hero as he might be the linchpin for why they win with him being out the lineup. Plus, when you got guys that know for a fact I'm playing 30 minutes, my game expands because I know I'm going to be on the floor. I know I'm not coming out. So that means that I'm going to shoot the basketball with more confidence. I'm going to defend with more confidence. I'm just going to be more confident overall on the floor because I know I ain't got to look over my shoulder if I make a mistake. I know I'm not going to have to look over my shoulder if I turn the ball over, if I miss a shot, because I know I'm going to be out here, which would explain why you see guys like Caleb Martin playing more and playing better, which would explain why you see guys like Max Strus, who goes 0 for 10, and then the next night he's 3 for 4 on the long ball early, because I know for a fact that I'm going to be out here. So that was a good point that Ticket made.
He got to go in there.
That does make a lot of sense.
Go ahead, Fluent. No, I'm just saying, Fluent. He got to trust his bench, bro. You can't have a bench like that and add all those pieces he add on. Like Reggie Jackson has playoff experience, Fluent. Thomas Bryant showed you he can play well with the Lakers. He can give you 8 to 10 minutes without Jokic on the court. You running
now in Malone's defense, and this is a double-edged sword because in his defense, Reggie Jackson hasn't played well since going to Denver. He hasn't. Thomas Bryant hasn't had consistent minutes, so he's scared. He's scared to put them in because he doesn't know what he's going to get from those guys. But at the same time, if you don't give them run, you're killing yourself.
Playoff experience, Tone. That hasn't he played big?
I think he's wrong. I'm agreeing with you. I think he's wrong in not doing it, and I think he's playing it too safe. Right? He's like, these are the guys I know. These are the guys that got me here. I'm going to go with them.
You got to give.
We all know. If someone didn't take a chance on Gabe Vincent, right, we wouldn't have known he could play. So I think he's not
good. You can't give Spo the same thing. You can't, because Tone, going into the game, you know what he's going to do. You know he's going to play. You know what their game plan is. Get the ball to Jokic pretty much at the high. He's going to try to create for everybody else. And guess what? Miami's done something nobody else did up to this point. They played him straight up. Everybody else been doubling. The Lakers doubled him. Everybody else doubled him. Miami had played him straight up. So once again tonight, we will see. Miami's going to play him straight up again. And we'll see if those other guys can get off. It's going to be harder for those guys because they don't have shot creator. That's why I said you have to use Reggie Jackson, a dude who can create his own shot alongside Jamal Murray. And then what happens if Murray gets into foul trouble early? What does he do, Tone? What happens if
But now he should have been doing this the entire playoffs. Is it too late? That's the question. Is it too late to throw Reggie Jackson, Thomas Bryant, these guys in for?
I want you to answer that question, Tone.
Hold on. I want Damo to answer it though. Right, Damo, I want you to tell us what adjustments that you would make if you were Mike Malone, or do you stick to your guns?
I mean, this has been a question about the Denver Nuggets. I mean, the entire playoffs. I remember other series. It was a question about their depth. I can remember going in the Phoenix series. Everyone knew the Suns were gutted, but it was like, I mean, the Nuggets don't really use their bench weight enough to really consider it. I would say, at first, it's kind of a jerk reaction to say, no, it is too late. But looking at the Lakers series, when Tristan Thompson played at one time, it was a little sparky. I don't know. You might have something there. You never know until you know. No. Take it. He waited too long. He waited too long, but in that one moment when he did play him, there was a spark there. So if you're looking in this series, it's not too late now. You split 1-1 from home. You're going on the road. Why not throw Thomas Bryant in there for 10, 15 minutes maybe instead of running Christian Brown's minutes at 15? Give Thomas Bryant 10, 15 minutes. Give Jokic a break. Try a different look. Anything else and see what happens. Put Ish Smith, who always been a solid backup point guard in my opinion his entire career. Put Ish Smith in there who can make a play or two. Put Reggie Jackson, even if he has been playing bad, if you need something different, you can't run these guys 40, 36 minutes, something like that. KCP fouled out, and he played terribly. If you got guys costing you, you might as well throw someone else in because what's the worst they can do?
Hey, let me say
here, listen, if you give Reggie, look, I know it's not direct position for position, so people are going to start going crazy, but give Reggie Jackson a couple of those shots that MPJ is missing, those wide open shots. He's going to knock down a couple. It might be, like you said, a spark, even if it's for 5-7 minutes, whatever. It can stop a run. It could create a run off the bench where, where their guys are getting tired and they start to slow down a little bit. Throw him in there. Give him a little bit of a spark. You're right. Okay, he might be a little bit of a liability on defense. Who isn't? Like, you got a team filled with inconsistent defenders, so why not?
You deflate
on top of that, Fluent, Reggie not just gonna shoot them threes. He gonna do a bit of slashing and get to the rim too.
Yeah. He's gonna, for sure.
You deflate your bench doing that, bro. And I know people don't say that right now, but I'm gonna tell you something. If he does this again tonight and they lose again, that bench, those guys on the bench who haven't been getting no burn, you're gonna start hitting some groans behind the scenes because those guys are like, damn, bro, this man ain't even giving us a shot. He ain't even playing us. We down 2-1 in the series. He haven't been playing us all playoffs. It's worked so far because teams haven't exploited us. But watch this. Here's the reason why you got to use a bench. What does Miami do great, Tone? They move the ball in the half court a lot. They make you rotate a lot on defense. They don't just take one shot or the quickest shot. They don't come down in there one shot quick. No, they move the ball. They make the extra pass. They make you rotate on defense, which make guys tired. So you have to get guys like Jokic and them out there a few minutes. You got to get Murray out there a few minutes. Why? Because during the course of the game, as the minutes add up and you coming down having to rotate every time on defense, the way Miami plays so disciplined on offense, bro, it's going to destroy you. And again, you have to give your guys confidence as a coach. That's the one thing Espo has done to everybody on the roster. He could have easily lost Duncan Robinson from benching Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson coming out here doing the Hulk Hogan flex and all this other. He got the highest confidence in the world. Jesus, man.
He does.
And I give Darvin Ham credit too. Darvin Ham, even though he would go away from guys, look at how motivated Lonnie Walker is when his number was called again. Lonnie Walker was benched for a while when they made that trade.
It was almost like he knew he was going to play at some point.
That's facts, bro. See what I'm saying?
It was almost like he knew at some point he's going to come to me. Like when you look at Reggie,
All those
He
dudes
was ready. They just
confident.
was.
Right. The dudes in the Denver Nuggets, bro, he ain't even giving them a shot, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I think Reggie Jackson playing less than 10 minutes in the playoffs, not the finals, in the entire playoffs. I think he plays less than 10 minutes, something crazy like that. Now, when you get in those kind of inconsistent minutes, so if I'm averaging less than 10 minutes, that means that I'm not even getting in a rhythm. I might go up and down 2 or 3 times and then I'm out. I'm basically just a body, which, don't get me wrong, sometimes being a body,
that's okay.
Yes, but sometimes being a body helps. However, I'd like to think that Reggie Jackson is a little bit more than a body. I think that he can be productive. I think that Thomas Bryant can also be productive. I mean, Dub said he's terrible. Well, how can a 6'10" guy who at some point he's shown us this year he can score, he can rebound. Okay, Thomas Bryant ain't an all-league defender. We all know that, but neither is Joker, right? Joker isn't an all-league defender. But with that being said, can Thomas Bryant give me 15 minutes? Where I can get something out of him in those 15 minutes, I think so. But to shorten the roster, to shorten the rotation to 7-8 guys, I've always felt like with a championship team, you're gonna need 10 guys. That's what I need. I need 10 guys minimum. Because the championship teams that I've seen in the past, it's a rotation thing, and not just guys getting hot every other night. It's also guys needing minutes, guys relieving guys of minutes, guys coming in and giving guys different looks. Defensively, guys doing things like that, as opposed to I'm just going to stick with these 7 guys. That's not enough, man.
There's no other big playing. That's another problem for Denver. There's no other big playing. It's literally Jokic. You have Gordon. After that, you have Jeff Green playing center minutes if they need it. I just, it's crazy.
Dama, who won a chip last year? Golden State, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And how many guys did Golden State use pretty much in that stretch? Like, how many different guys had certain games sometimes? Like one game, it might be Jordan Poole had a big game. One game, it might be somebody else that had a big game off the bench. One game, it was Otto Porter Jr. Last year. They had all those different guys.
Gary Payton, Otto Porter Jr., Jordan Poole, the other big guy who I'm thinking about.
He doesn't do that, bro. He doesn't do that.
And let's be right. I was gonna say, and let's be clear. These guys aren't the answer, right? Thomas Bryant, Reggie Jackson, all these names are thrown. Ish Smith. They're not going to win you the game. They're not going to win you the series. What they're going to do is give the other guys, those other 6 guys that are playing heavy minutes, a couple of extra minutes, which makes them better in the fourth quarter, which makes them better late in games, which makes them better shooters, which makes them better decision makers. When even you get, trust me, you get that extra 2-3 minutes of rest. Dude, it helps. It helps. So no, Thomas Bryant is not going to go in there and be a world beater, but if he gives whoever he's given a couple of minutes just to, like, it will help them play better. And as long as he doesn't completely, like, I don't know what I was going to say, he's going to suck. Yeah, maybe, but as long as he doesn't completely, like,
I don't think he does any worse than Cody Zeller, Tone. I don't think he does any worse. I don't think he does any worse than Cody Zeller. So.
No, yeah, it's just people are going to think, oh, these guys are the answer. No, they're not the answer. They're not going to win you the game, but they can help. They can help.
He's an easy 6 scrap points every time he plays the game. Every time I've seen him play, when AD was out and he had to play for the Lakers, there was at least 6 points you're getting from an easy dump off and he finishes, offensive rebound he finishes, scrap just easy scrap points that you need. The same thing people will get from a Patrick Beverly and see the value in that. You'll get that from a Reggie Jackson, you'll get that from a Thomas Bryant, and Mike Malone is just not using it. And before you can get away with it, and right now it's obvious you're not going to be able to get away with it and win a championship. Hey, you have to make that adjustment.
And the last thing go ahead, Ticket. I'm sorry.
Mark, I just want to ask Mars a question because I know you Lowe's representative. I got a question for you, dog. What can the Denver Nuggets do if Jokic or Jamal Murray gets in foul trouble early in one of these games?
Lose the game. That's what they'll do. They'll lose the game. There's no plan for Jokic or Jamal Murray getting in foul trouble. That's a loss. That's the consequence of that. There's no, oh, we can do this, we can adjust with it. No, they will lose the game.
So you don't think anybody on that bench can help them weather a storm?
Nope. If Jokic gets 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes, Denver are going to lose that game.
Especially if he has to sit for extended minutes. Like if Joker got to sit for 4 or 5 minutes, all right. But if Joker picks up his 3rd foul in the beginning of the second quarter and he got to sit basically the rest of the second quarter, that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
What I'm saying, but Tone, is that a problem because the coach hasn't played anybody else, or is that and they don't know how to play without Jokic, like without at extended periods of time, or is that a problem because that's just how they play? That's just how they
what ticket? I'm sorry, Tom.
I understand.
Well, ticket. When you got a guy in Joker who is the primary focus of your offense. He is your offense. Murray, MPJ, all of these guys play off of him. So now when he's off the floor, it's not just a free for all. Now we got to switch our offense up, and we're not accustomed to that. I think Joker averaged something like 35, almost 40 minutes a game. So Joker plays a lot, and we play with him a lot. So when we have stretches where Joker picks up his third foul with 9 minutes left in the second quarter, and he can't play the rest of the quarter, we got to play the rest of the quarter without him. We got to play the rest of the quarter without him. Not only do we have to play the rest of the quarter without him, now he's going to play different in the second half because now he's going to play tentative. I don't want to pick up another foul. Now I'm not going to be as aggressive as I'd like to be. Same logic with Jamal Murray.
I missed my question. Maybe I asked Tone. So my question is this: if you're coaching the Denver Nuggets and Murray or Jokic gets into foul trouble early, what adjustment can you make to try to weather that storm? That's what I'm saying. Like Mars said, it ain't no adjustment. I think it has to be something you can do with all that talent you got on the team to try to weather that storm.
I think the issue is now the adjustment is obviously you got to put someone else and hope they can make some buckets or get some stops. But in reality, here's the problem with having a player, and there's a couple teams that have this, a player that kind of dominates the system, where like they are the system versus there's a system they play in. Is if you take Jokic out of Denver, they lose because he's kind of the system. Right? If you take Luka out of Dallas, they lose because he is the system. You take LeBron.
They didn't when you had Brunson, though. They won without him. Remember last year when they had Brunson? They won 2 playoff. Okay, you saying now. Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. There's in this particular situation. So what adjustments can they make? If Jokic gets in foul trouble, they're in trouble. If Murray gets in foul, now I think they can handle Murray better being in foul trouble than Jokic because Jokic does so much in terms of drawing defenders, facilitating for other people, like all of those things. I think the bigger hit would be if Jokic gets in foul trouble versus Murray. But if Jokic gets in foul trouble, they're in trouble. Like that's the easiest way to put it. They're in trouble.
Don't you think they could play Thomas Bryant, play a pick and pop with Thomas Bryant and Murray, and that opens up the Miami Heat defense because that forces Bam to stay outside with Thomas Bryant because Thomas Bryant's damn near a 40% 3-point shooter. So now,
are you respecting Thomas Bryant like you are Jokic?
Yeah, no, for the 3-point line, yes.
Is he the passer that Jokic is? No, I'm going to live with him. I'm going to live with him shooting more because I think
Thomas Bryant's never been in the finals before, so wouldn't you live with him? I need to see you make these shots. I need to see you make them.
Which is exactly what you talked about, Tom. Which is exactly what you talked about, Ticket, when you talked about finals experience. So we got a guy in Thomas Bryant who never played in the NBA finals. So is he just going to come out and be like gangbusters? I don't know about that.
He might, but I'd bet my money on he wouldn't. And if he shoots a bunch of threes, his
he went the drama. That part ain't going to
the streets. The streets on the NBA finals. Thomas Bryant's never played in the playoffs.
I'm going to say this to you, right? I'm going to say this to you, Mars. And here's something that y'all don't understand about ball that my boy Chill understand. Bro, when you from the streets, bro, you ain't afraid of nothing, man.
I'm not saying he's afraid.
No, I'm saying
even if you're not afraid, you can still not be that good.
Hold on. He's the one dude I disagree with. He's the one dude I think if you put him in, he gonna eat glass like said. He gonna get tough offensive rebounds to stick back. He gonna fight. See, his game ain't gonna change.
I think if he was that good, he'd be playing a little bit.
No,
he should be playing, Tone. He should be playing. In fact, that's why he went to Denver.
Jokic.
I'm not saying replace Joker, but he should be playing though, Tone. I don't understand why he's not in the rotation. That's why he went to Denver. That's why he left the Los Angeles Lakers because he wasn't getting no run. I'm better than what y'all see here in Los Angeles. So if I get to Denver, I'm looking at their rotation, and I could be playing more. That's why he went there.
I thought the Lakers
went to Denver. They gave him a little bit of burn. He was playing terribly, and it ended up being DeAndre Jordan, who was the backup center.
Well, he just got there.
That's how bad.
I mean, it's not like it's a situation where he got there.
But do you know how bad you have to play for DeAndre Jordan to take your minutes? That's not even me trolling. Do you know how bad you have to be playing for DeAndre Jordan to be ahead of you in the rotation?
Well, if you look at Thomas Bryant's career, his career is mainly almost at a double-double. Like 10 points, 10 rebounds.
He was in Washington.
Here's my thing.
Los Angeles also.
Thomas Bryant does a couple things that I disagree with Fluent. You can't teach to some guys. Again, he gonna eat glass. He gonna play hard as hell. He gonna bang in the post. I like that. I like a dude who's gonna play hard all the time. That type of stuff I can take with me in the NBA Finals. I can take with me anywhere. That type of attitude, that type of mentality. If it's only for 8, 9, 10 minutes, I can take that because I know even if he does everything else wrong, guess what he's gonna do? More than Cody Zeller's gonna do. He's gonna eat glass. He also, like I said, he's going to get offensive rebounds. He's going to get you extra possessions. Thomas Bryant play hard all the time. That's the thing I like about him.
You got 5 minutes for people. You got 5 minutes for dudes like that, yo.
Right.
Like dudes like that should not be on the bench. You got 5 minutes for dudes
and
like
he
that.
can hit
You
the
have
three,
to.
though. And he can hit the three. So
You
that's
got
another
5 minutes.
He was blacklisted for calling for the ball.
I can appreciate your logic, Mars, about DeAndre Jordan taking his minutes. Well, again, we're talking about it. We're talking about a Thomas Bryant who just got over there. That's a different system that they run in Los Angeles than they run in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, we had a ball dominant guy in James, which is different than what Joker has. Even though Joker is ball dominant, we got a ball dominant guy in Joker with the offense running through him as opposed to guys just standing around and watching in Los Angeles. So that's a different system. And I don't think he really got an opportunity to get.
That's the point. It's a different system, and now we're trying to plug him in the NBA Finals when he hasn't played.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense.
Even if
the other part, like honestly, we've talked more about Thomas Bryant than minutes he's played this season, but they see him in practice. And let's be honest, if part of the reason he was shipped out of the Lakers, and it wasn't the joke that I made about him calling for the ball when LeBron broke the scoring record, but it was because he wanted more minutes. We don't know this, but in practice, he might be that same guy who's calling for the ball, who wants to be the man, who wants the ball in his hand, who isn't being a team guy. And maybe that's why he didn't fit into the system. And maybe that's why he's not getting minutes, because every time they put him in, he's like, yo, I'm the man. Give me the ball. And that doesn't work. So there's things that we don't know in practice. And you know this. There's guys that we're like, yo, that guy's got talent. Why isn't he playing? Well, they saw something in practice, or they saw something in those games. They're like, or he's saying stuff to certain people that are just like, whoa. Like you just know this doesn't work. And so we don't know that part. Maybe there's more to it than just, hey, he can go give us some minutes. It's like, no, he's going to try to take over, and we don't need that. We don't need a James Wiseman getting in the post calling for the ball when he's got Steph Curry wide open, for a shot. Like if that's the type of guy he's been in practice, I wouldn't play him either. And I don't know that for sure, but I'm saying maybe that's part of it.
I'm playing the hitters, man. I'm sorry.
Yo,
Tony.
fellas. We do got to move on. We've talked about Thomas Bryant for a little bit. I do have a question about the Nuggets bench and whatnot, and I'm gonna ask you guys that. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know that the show is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. It's that their app, their website. It's literally just the best way to get in on some NBA action and make some money on some NBA action. They have a game. It's called their Pick'em game. Essentially, what you do is, you pick a couple players, anywhere from 2 to 5. You vote on whether you think that player is going to go higher or lower on their stats that are projected for that day, and you can win up to 20 times your money. Now, with that being said, you see that link right at the top of the chat. Make sure you go ahead and click that. That will take you right to their app. That will take you to their website. You can use our very own promo code, THEPANEL. It's very simple. The show you're watching, THEPANEL. Put that in, and then you'll be able to basically get all of our promotions and our deals and all that good stuff, which means if you put in $50, they'll match $50. If you put in 100, they'll match 100. Also, this Friday, there's a special going on with Jamal Murray. All he has to do is score 1 fantasy point, which is 1 free throw. All he has to do is score 1 bucket. If he does that, you automatically win that. So I wouldn't want to miss that if I were you. I wouldn't want you to do that. Furthermore, we are still doing a $400 giveaway today for anybody who uses the promo code. Yes, a $400 giveaway today, like we did on Monday, for anybody that uses the promo code and takes a screenshot of their account and sends it to the Player's Choice Instagram. You guys have basically until the end of this show to do that. So you might want to start taking screenshots, sending them over. I'm going to reach my hand in the hat. I'm going to pick somebody out, and I would like for you to come on tomorrow and make some picks for us as well. So you have an opportunity to win 400, obviously win the wager that you're putting up tonight, and get on the show tomorrow.
Right.
But what's up, Ticket? Talk to me.
I want you to watch this right here. Now, pause this right here, whatever minute we add in this video. I want y'all to think about this. If the Denver Nuggets lose tomorrow or tonight, the narrative tomorrow morning will be exactly what we just talked about on this show. I want everybody that's listening to the show, remember what we talked about. We just talked about Denver not going into their bench and using certain guys. We just went into this. You watch, if Denver loses the game tonight, they're going to go on ESPN, Fox, and all the networks and repeat with myself, Tone, Chill, Mars, and Damo was just talking about. They're going to talk about, oh, well, Mike Malone's not using his bench. He's running his guys. You guys watch the narrative, bro. We set the standard over here, bro. I want y'all to – I'm seeing so many people copy what Tone's saying, copy what Chill's saying, copy what this crazy little boy Mars says, copy what Damo say, copy what Lo say. It's insane. Hey, bro, listen, I watched this.
MCs, you biting my style. You biting my style, boy. You biting my style.
Crazy. Bro, Stephen A. Smith went on TV the last couple of weeks after Tone been saying this the whole time. That's why you're more fluent. He talking about, it's fluent. Like, where does fool get this from?
Uh-oh.
Where get that from? You jogging the man's style?
Are you in my rhyme book? Is that what you doing? Is he peeking in my rhyme book?
Style, man. You stole his rhyme book.
Damn. Peeking in my rhyme book.
Yo, Damo. So I did have a question, and I want to start with you.
Mhm.
Is it a point where if Denver is only playing 6 to 7 people, where fatigue catches up with them? I know these are professional athletes, world-class athletes, but they went through the ringer, and it's game 3 of the NBA Finals. Is it a point where we start to see these guys' body break down?
100%. Eventually. I mean, I'm not going to say eventually. 100% at the very least, guys are going to be tired. There's going to be wear and tear. There's going to be that little fatigue where you're going to have to start pulling some other guys off the bench. I understand these guys might not have played the entire season. They might have had a 7-game stretch when they first got to the team where they weren't so productive and lost their minutes to a 39-year-old DeAndre Jordan. But right now, I mean, that's better than Jokic being outran down the court by everybody because he's tired, or Murray getting outran down the court by everybody because he's tired, or KCP costing you 3 technical fouls, turnover fouls, while fouling out of the game and having 36 minutes. Like, at a certain point, you have to get some guys in there for 8 to 10 minutes just to get a guy some rest. Jokic shouldn't have to play 40 minutes, in my opinion. He shouldn't have to. He genuinely shouldn't. 35 minutes, 33 minutes. If he's playing 40 minutes, you went into triple overtime or something like that. Like, Jokic shouldn't have to play 42 minutes because he's just not that type of center. He's not that type of athlete to be out there ripping and running for 40 minutes and be as effective as you need him to be in these clutch situations.
You don't think he's that type of athlete? I mean, because up to this point, how many minutes did Jokic average?
He's had to be, which is some guys. I mean, if they have to do it, they have to do it. I'm not gonna say he doesn't have that dog in him to do it. I'm gonna say what game 1 he played. I'm checking right now. He played 40 minutes game 1. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying he shouldn't have to be. I don't think he's the best. I think Jokic at 35 minutes a game is going to be a way better player than you see him from a Jokic playing 40, 42 minutes because he's not that guy defensively. 35 minutes, he might be a better defensive guy. He might be able to be a little more quicker laterally than he is if he's playing 40, 42 minutes a game.
He should be playing 48 minutes if he's a true leader.
No doubt. All right. Appreciate that from you, Damo. We're going to go ahead and jump into a couple of these super chats. So let's go ahead and do it. The guy said Fluent got CT Chilltown messed up.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means. But
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah,
Appreciate you, the guy.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Alan R. said Dub needs to beat the Malone racist allegations.
What?
I don't know what that
means. Dub had a
means.
bad time on Open Gym. Dub had a bad time.
Did he? Did it get rough? Did it get rough for Dub last night?
It got rough for Dub. So yeah, he has some allegations he has to defeat.
Who's rough for Dub and Mars over there?
No, I'm good. Don't worry about me.
I mean, Dub and Low.
Dub and Low had a rough time.
What did he say, Mars? How about that? Since we're on the subject of that, what did he say?
I don't want to air out Dub's dirty laundry in front.
I'm saying
it was on TV.
No, Dub may or may not have found the civil rights movement to be a funny situation, and he laughed at the plight of black people. Maybe, allegedly.
So you can't. No, Dub. He's talking about Dub. So you can't confirm nor deny that. Is what you're saying, Mars.
If you want to watch Open Gym and see it for yourself in its full
context, said it on TV. It wasn't like you making this up. He said it on TV. So.
Allegedly. If you want to go to check out Open Gym and see it.
Just to be clear, when Dub's being attacked, you don't back him up and when he does something wrong, you air it out on another show. You're some friend, buddy. You're some
Bro,
friend.
I'm a bad friend, man.
Mhm.
I
Dub
ain't telling
with dirty
Mars
laundry out here
nothing.
is crazy.
I ain't telling
Man,
Mars
man, man.
nothing.
Dub, I hope you beat the allegations, my friend. Indoor Voices says start bench cut. Danny Granger, ISO Joe, and Edwards.
Well, Danny Granger wasn't the one-on-one player that ISO Joe was. I don't think he was the clutch player that ISO Joe was. And Edwards is on his way to being that dude. I mean, Danny Granger broke down. So I'm going to start ISO Joe. I'm going to bench Anthony Edwards. I'm cutting Danny Granger.
Start Ant, bench Joe, and Danny Granger out of here. I think you got to start Ant because he has more ability than ISO Joe. Even though ISO Joe has been proving himself over the course of years, Ant Man.
He look like he got a higher upside. He does. He does look like he got a higher upside. But
And I like ISO Joe coming off the bench. I like coming off. Like I know you guys. It's supposed to be ranking 1, 2, 3, but I actually look at it if they're on my team, how I'm going to play them. So I'm starting.
Also, though, ISO Joe did what Chitchat applauds. ISO Joe was in Phoenix with Steve Nash and Stoudemire, and ISO Joe was like, "Listen, I'm gonna go do my own thing." And he went down to Atlanta, and he had them build that thing around him and became ISO Joe.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
Don't get me wrong. I mean,
do you know in the 09-10 season, this was LeBron's last season in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, there's only 4 players in the East that were top 10 in scoring.
And ISO Joe was one of them.
No, Danny Granger was. It was
I think he
Wade,
made all- I
Bosh,
think he made all
LeBron,
14.
and Granger. Those were the 4 top 10. The only 4 in the East.
And then 3 of them teamed up.
3 of them went to the same team after the year after. That's not why I brought it up, but interesting point. But Danny Granger was the 4th.
I think Danny Granger.
Granger got hurt, right? That's what.
He had knee problems. Yeah, he had knee problems. He couldn't hold up.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question, man.
What's up? Talk to us.
Yo, man, I gotta ask y'all this because this was so crazy that came up on the line yesterday, man. They're saying John Morant's team went to the NBA and said he had a toy gun, man.
Now they're saying it's
seen that. Oh my god!
Wait, one more time.
We got to.
So Memphis went to the league.
No, not Memphis.
No.
His representatives.
John's team told the NBA. They told the NBA this man had a water gun.
Maybe it was a water gun.
I don't give a damn. He's even more stupider. Hold on, Mars. I'm gonna say this to you right now.
More stupid.
Bro,
stupid is not a word.
If you're walking around flashing, bro, that's stupider than not having a real one.
First of all, I'm already on the hook for guns. I shouldn't even be playing with nothing that even emulates a gun. I'm already on the hook for this.
I don't care if that gun is fluorescent green and shoots out those little things that stick to the walls. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Bro,
Damo, you ended up getting in trouble in this neighborhood. You come back to this neighborhood. You ain't even in no trouble. You haven't been doing anything for years, but you come back to that neighborhood. Your ass is back on the hook. You shouldn't even been around here.
Hey, chill. They gonna find something to blame on you.
What
you know what I might need to do? I might need to take my name out of the GM hat and talk to John Morant directly and just say, "You need new PR. Come here, give me a call. I'll fix this for you because whoever's doing it for you right now stinks."
I got roasted by chat when I said John's team is probably, going to come up with some dumb excuse for why he's doing what he's doing. Just something idiotic. Chat told me I was crazy for assuming that, and they come out and say it was a toy gun. So I just, I expected
like that's supposed to fix it. Oh, it was only a toy gun, so ain't no big deal. We straight now. Goofy, what are you doing?
What are you gonna do when somebody pull a real gun on him? He got a toy. He got a water gun. What are you gonna do?
If they're allergic to water,
tell him, what you gonna do?
John Morant is Jarvis Creighton with talent, dude. Like, he's killing me.
He got one of them guns. He squeezed it to say bang when he squeezed it, bro. Come on,
fire.
Bro.
My only thing with this whole thing is like, if that's the case, that's something you say right away. That's literally something you say
on camera. On camera, it's a water gun. Squirt, squirt. Like,
Ron, there's
maybe there was no water.
Even if there was no water anymore, there's no way that his PR team got in a room and collectively came up with, you know what, yo, maybe that was a toy gun and we're gonna sell that. There's no way all of y'all came up with that, because if you did, last one of y'all need to be fired.
Bro,
get him up out here.
His PR team is a bunch of guys from high school, man. That's what that was.
There's no way all of you dudes came up with, yo, it was a toy gun. Maybe we could probably sell it. It was a toy gun. There's no way y'all came up with that.
Dudes told their teacher the dog ate their homework, dude.
No,
For the third time, Tone, by the way. For the third time. Not the first
Y'all ain't
time.
heard the
It's the
story,
third time you said that.
They allegedly gave the gun to Adam Silver to prove it was a toy gun. And he's still suspended in school.
Hey, Ticket, stop playing with me, man. This is getting goofier and goofier.
But y'all know Tamir Rice had a toy gun, and the cops
He got killed.
The cops
They
clips on
playing.
him. So you
Bob,
know
they're not playing with you, Bob. That's utter stupidity, bro. Bro, listen, if you flashing a gun, right, when people see you, they're gonna say, okay, they're not gonna surmise that that's fake. They're gonna think that's real. So when they approach you, they're gonna approach you with the same energy that they see you putting out there. Now, if they approach you with a real gun and you end up having a fake gun, bro, I fearful, man, bro.
And Tamir Rice was a baby. He was 11, 12
years old. He's 12 years old. 12 years old, and the Cleveland Police Department shot him up like that. Even still, what I'm trying to figure out from a social media standpoint, how am I a bigger deal? Am I a bigger deal as a wannabe thug, or am I a bigger deal as an athlete? Because I'd like to think that as a ball player, I'm probably a bigger deal. And with being a bigger deal, I don't want to do that other stuff. That's why I started playing basketball. So what's the reason for you portraying this? Because that's not who you are.
I blame rap music.
That is
Man,
true.
Hey, Fluent, you can laugh if you want to. That's
I know. I say it as a joke.
No,
but
no,
actually
it's
probably-
not.
No,
No,
but
it's
that's
not.
not a joke,
No,
though.
I'm not letting y'all off the hook with that. Because I grew up on NWA and Ice Cube. You ain't see me running around with a Glock 19.
I
grew up with Biggie Smalls. You ain't see me walking around holding a gun. I wasn't doing that.
No, but
I
I'm with
listen
you.
to Naughty by Nature, and I ran around with a machete. So I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, Tone.
Well, Fluent. That's because you're a thug.
The music.
That was already in you.
All the time.
Hey,
Yeah.
that music the music influenced these young kids' mind, man. What they listening to, bro? For the same thing, like for example, that's why you should always like watch what your kids watch, because the same thing they see, they learn that. So a lot of these kids like that aren't with their parents a lot. That's one thing I love about Fluent, man. I always respect Fluent. Where we get in any argument, Fluent always show love to his kids. He always showing time with his kids, time for his kids. I respect that, because a lot of these kids, the parents are just telling them to go outside and play, stay away from. You're not seeing what they're watching, what they're being influenced by. It's a lot of kids that grew up that was influenced to do something they normally wouldn't do. Maybe smoke, maybe drink, maybe use gun, but their parents aren't around them so much, bro. Bro, this is a lesson in life that these things do influence these kids. The TV, the stuff they see on TV, a lot of these things influence kids and influence younger people to live these type of lives that they normally wouldn't live. So when you listen to the rap music glorifying killing other people, glorifying robbing and stealing and doing all this other stuff, bro, these kids are listening to that. They're being basically mind control into thinking this stuff is cool, and you got kids out here losing their whole life, going to prison for their whole life, or dying behind stupidity, bro. And so
there's something to be said when remember Shaq's mom told us, Shaq was like, Shaq had a very healthy fear of his mother and his father, and like that's okay. I think we forgot that. I think it's okay.
Yeah, man, that's why you have strong parents in your life. Strong parents in your life will help you be able to avoid stuff like that, Chill Town. But a lot of people don't got that. That's why Ja has no excuse. He had his mom.
None. Both of them built the dude a basketball court in his backyard. It was around the whole time.
Come on, bro.
They were around the whole time.
You $100 million man ready to throw your life away over stupidity. And what was he doing when he flashed the gun? Listening to music, rapping, acting crazy.
No, I said it as you can't blame the music, because it's not just the one thing. It's not. I said it as a joke, and I know Ron was like, well, maybe. Well, no, look, there's music, there's video games, but it's more of the persona that he wants to portray. He doesn't want to be a suburban kid who made it to the league. He wants to be.
Why does he do that, Joe? Why does he do that?
It's probably a combination of things. It's probably a combination of a bunch of things. It's probably the music he listens to, the things that he watches, the games that he plays, his dad wanting to be a celebrity and, be a Usher doppelganger. Like it's not, I'm telling you, it's not one thing. It's a series of things. It's a series of things. It's never just one thing. I say this all the time. It's whether we're talking about stats, players, life, whatever. It's never one.
Hold on, but Fluent, your kid wouldn't get involved in stuff like that. Why?
No, because he knows I whoop him.
Right. So hold on. So, but what I'm saying to you is, a lot of these kids don't have that, Fluent. A lot of these kids, what you talk about, they don't have. So when they don't have
that's not fair, Fluent. That's not fair because I think because this these kids are going to be what they want to be. I think I'm a great father. I think I teach my kids, particularly my older sons. I tell them, what can happen if they do this, what can happen if they do that. My pops was around for the majority of my adolescence as well, and I still made tons of mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
No one's saying you're not going to make mistakes.
That's not what. I'm saying, like, as we could teach our kids, we can be the best parents that we can be. But at the end of the day, when our kids are at school, you know what I'm saying, 7 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? We can influence our kids the way that's best to the best of our ability, but there's also other outside influences. At the end of the day,
that's why I said it's always more than one thing. That's
right. So what I'm saying is that I'm trying to lead my kids on that right path. Extracurricular activities. Be a good person more than anything. Respect your mother. Respect your grandmother. Respect your elders above all things. But at the end of the day, I can't guarantee that my sons are going to be upstanding citizens in the world, because at the end of the day, when they are grown, things you just never know. You know what I'm saying? But we can do the best to be the best parents we can be.
Big Ox, what you can guarantee though is you can guarantee that those kids will have a healthy respect for you, and you can guarantee that by putting that healthy fear in them. It's a difference between somebody being scared of you and somebody having a healthy respect and fear for you. Right. I made it clear to my daughter, and I stand on this to this day. I made it clear to my daughter, I will blow your brains out before I watch you become a crack addict. I said that to her. I said, I'll spend the rest of my life in the penitentiary before I watch that. And she said to me, Dad, that stuck with me. And that's one of the main reasons why I stayed away from that sort of stuff. Because I said, I will put my life on the line and I will go to jail for the rest of my life before I watch you turn into that. Now, some other things, there are other things that are different where you can keep your kids away from them, or they may stick to that. But there are things you can keep your kids away from specifically because they have a healthy respect for you and they have a healthy fear for you. And that's where I was with my daughter.
Right. Well, I mean, I agree. I hear you. I think that's.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what Bob is saying, right? Because there are outside influences. So even if is what I'm getting from Bob, even if you do all the right things, sometimes those outside influence can. And I see what you, and that's why I say it's never just one thing. It's never just the parents. Or I know we use music as an example. It's not just the music. It's not the video games that desensitize people to killing. It's not. But if you put all of those things together with a bad group of friends and a bad situation and making bad decisions, which we're all going to do, again, that's why I say it's the collective of all those things. And I just think Ja is in a situation where he's trying to be something that he's not. He's got a bunch of guys around him who aren't stopping him. He has his parents who, although were there, didn't instill that. Like, I think his dad's his friend. And listen, you ask Little Fluent, you ask Mini Mamba, are we friends? Yeah, Daddy's my best friend. But what will Daddy do if he does wrong? We're not friends anymore. If I do something wrong, he becomes Daddy real quick.
Well, I can also say even from experience too, like I for the most part, I did the right things, but I made some mistakes. But I can also say also growing up though, so my pops he's from Watts. He grew up in Watts, so he grew up real rough. But he wanted us to do different things, stay in school, this and that. But even when I was younger, I used to be like man, like I'm not trying to walk around looking like no nerd. I'm trying to be over here with my cousins. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do this. Like I don't want to do that. So I definitely when I was a preteen, 12, 13, 11, 12, 13, 14, I was pushing away from that. Like, nah, I'm not. That's not me. I'm not you. But at the end of the day, I still came back to my senses. Like, nah, that's not the right thing.
We all listen. I'm not going to tell you who I hung out with, but trust me, like they're not good people. But like, you
right. Yeah.
You work through it.
Yeah, yo.
Hey, W parenthood though.
Yeah, hey, why didn't Taylor Jenkins get any responsibility for his team, for not being able to control his team? Is there any other coach? The coach would have got the whole meal for what happened to that team.
Think so?
He got no. Taylor Jenkins got no blame. He completely lost control of the team. He got no blame whatsoever. He gets to keep his job. I mean, I don't understand it, bro.
That's why Terry Stotts got fired up in Portland because he lost the crew.
Right. If you're
and they wasn't even doing what Ja was doing, but he lost the crew.
And he was a terrible coach.
But he completely lost control of his team. Like they had meetings and said, look, don't go out and party. Don't do this. Don't do that. Guy said, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. And you have no consequences from the coach.
But wait, was it a loss of control of the team or just Ja went kind of crazy?
No, he lost control of the team. Hold on. Here's why it's the team, though. Because then you got Dillon Brooks open up his mouth saying stupidity, talking about, LeBron's old. I don't respect that old man until he dropped 40 on me. Then you got the other teammates out here doing dumb stuff. They've been talking all these years. John Morant going to the media saying, we good in the West. We ain't worried about nobody else except for the Boston Celtics. Celtics ain't even in the finals.
That's confidence. That's not losing control of your team. That's just some young guys being confident.
Hold on, Bob. Excuse me, Damo. That's stupidity when you've done nothing. They've done nothing in the NBA.
But how many of the greats have had their stories about when they were young pups coming into the league? They barked a little too big, and then they got big. That's a normal thing. Kevin Garnett's famous story going against Michael Jordan. His teammates busting his tail. He's barking, hyping his teammate up. He ain't got nothing on you. His teammates tell him, "Hey, yo, bro, chill." No. And Michael Jordan busting their tail. He's sitting down.
Hold on.
Hey, yo, my fault, man.
Reggie Miller in the preseason talking smack at halftime because he had 12 or he had 20 points and Jordan had 4, and it was a preseason game, and Jordan goes, forget that, 44, and Reggie Miller ends with 14.
Hold on, Reggie.
What about Jerry Stackhouse? What about Jerry Stackhouse saying, you know what, this game actually kind of is pretty easy. What are they doing? And then he gets smoked. Well, there's guys that
he's had a perennial, and he's been a professional most of all, and he's been able to back it up for most of his career. We're talking about dudes that have done absolutely nothing, bro. That's talking crazy to dudes who have accomplished a lot of stuff. And I ain't even talking about just normal. I'm talking about, he said, yo, we ain't worried about nobody in the West. We good in the West. They ain't done nothing. They ain't even went to the Western Conference Finals.
But again, that's not a loss.
But I'll tell you, I applauded his confidence. But then you got to go back it up, and they didn't.
And that's guys being confident for no reason, Damo. But where's that come from? That comes from your leader. That's the problem, and we got to get that stuff under control. Desmond Bain guaranteeing a Game 7 win. Desmond Bain.
Hold on, stay right there, Chilltown. And then what did Desmond Bain say after Roy Hachimura cooked in the first game? I doubt he can keep that up. Oh, what did he do?
Was Desmond Bain not one of the better performers for the Grizzlies?
No, he folded in a lot of games.
Yeah, he was.
He's probably the best player in the playoffs.
He folded in certain games in that series too. He wasn't shooting well. He scored points, but he wasn't playing well. Go look at the stats.
Listen. I'm not saying that their confidence is just. I'm not saying the confidence is just. I get that. All I'm saying is, if I have a young team and we're trying to make a name for ourselves, I'm a young coach. I'm not going to sit there and look from the outside in and say, oh, this guy lost control of his team because his guys were just confident and saying dumb, young, confident guy stuff. Now, John Morant doing what he did off the court with the guns and all that, I can't put that on the coach if it's just Ja. No one else is out there being. If I get some Zach Randolph stories coming out of the Grizzlies camp, then we can have a conversation. But no one else is doing anything. If it's just because Desmond Bain is dressing like Kyle Kuzma and talking trash to LeBron,
but with that also being said, though, even if you do have a young team, if you do have a young, confident team who is dumb enough to think that they could do something, at some point as a coach, you got to get that fishing rod, reel these guys in, man, because what's going on, this is going to get out of control, and once it gets out of control,
Chilltown. But this is the problem I have with Damo. The disrespect. Okay, when they had the situation with the first one with Ja, right? What did Dillon Brooks go and do? Something that Coach should already shut this stuff down. He goes to the media and brings up, yeah, man, Carmelo, we don't need nobody like that, man. He old, washed up, man. We don't need him, man. What he gonna do? What he gonna do to help our bench? We don't need no vets. We good. We don't need that. All this stuff, bro. Bro, as a head coach, your team should know, because, and I'm gonna tell you the difference, right? On an Espo team, on a Greg Popovich team, on all these other teams, you don't see none of this. was just going on. You know why,
But
Dom?
this is the same Grizzlies team that had that issue with Andre Iguodala back in the day. So this is an ongoing thing with them. This is you can say this is them trying to have their identity of we're those guys that don't need those useless vets. Like that's a thing that's happened before. This is a repeat thing though. Like
No,
this is something new.
not
the same guy that had something to say when Iguodala left the team. They were upset about it then. They were way worse then. They were still upset then.
Dom, all I'm saying is this: as a head coach, bro, when your team has all these situations where they're out of control, it's your job to have your team under control. I came up under coaches. I'm pretty sure Fluent and Chilltown did too, as well, and Bob did too, bro. When they see the team is on BS, the coach cut it out. If the coach says, look, we got curfew, ain't nobody going out, and you still doing this, and they have to have another team meeting to tell you, please don't do this, and you're doing it again, well, guess what? I'm blaming the coach because the coach should have came in the locker room and laid down the hammer and said, look, if you go out again, your ass suspended, period. We got team rules. If you don't follow them, you're out of here. No, what they did was they babied this dude all these years, all the time, allowed him to get away with everything, and now guess what? It's cost your entire team this season and next season because the team and the coach didn't do what he was supposed to do to have the situation under control to not get to this point. If he would have laid the hammer down early, which is what Pop would have did, which is what Darvin Ham would have did, which is what Steve Kerr would have did, which is what all these other coaches would have did, then you wouldn't have been at this point now where you not only sacrificed last season, but the season going forward. And guess what, Damo? Now your team might change because they might have to end up trading John Morant.
Yo, Damo. It right quick, it's a lot of truth to that too, because I know a dude personally who is just as wild as Ja, if not wilder, and he was drafted by the Spurs. He went and played under Pop, and you never heard nothing from DeJounte Murray over there. Nothing. I know DeJounte's background. I know where he comes from, what his people do, and how he gets down. He went over there, and Pop cleaned up everything. You didn't hear not a peep from DeJounte. If you didn't know, then you would think that he was an upstanding citizen. You would think he's a solid NBA player, a good. Not saying that he's not, but he got a background that he comes from. But he's talked about that. Hold up. You said what?
I'm saying, but he's talked about that, and he's talked about when he got drafted, how it was a preconceived notion of what kind of kid he was, and he wanted to prove that wrong as well, though. It wasn't just they put a muzzle on him. That's true, though. He said he wanted to prove that wrong. But I get what you're saying.
DeJounte and Ja are two completely different people. You can tell by their mannerisms. But DeJounte is way mature. DeJounte is who he is. He's aware. You know what I'm saying? You could tell the differences in how they grew up. It's like night and day. With all due respect, Ja Morant's a goofball.
I do agree with you.
Ja Morant is a complete goofball. You know what I'm saying? And DeJounte Murray is not.
I'm saying even certain little things though, like on the court things and other things, like the way he exploded on that ref. Not saying that he's never tripped on a ref in San Antonio, but that's even stuff that you didn't really see too much out of him either. Just his mannerisms and character on the court too. So even him just being removed from the Spurs locker room and going over there, now you see him chest bumping refs and pushing up on refs. It's even little things like that where you could have Pop gonna check you from top to bottom. He gonna check you on the court. He gonna check you off the court. He gonna check you in the locker room. He gonna check you with what you doing. How Ticket was saying when it's curfew time. Like certain coaches like that make sure that not only are they implementing certain things to make sure that you're acting right, but they're gonna have vets in the locker room that police you as well. They're gonna put teammates around you that are gonna hold you accountable.
Memphis didn't do that.
It's a culture thing from top to bottom.
That's a fact.
But can I ask real quick?
My whole point to you is this: the fact that Taylor Jenkins did such a bad job. Most coaches, and let's be honest, I don't want to make this a race thing. If this is a black coach, he'd been fired, bro. It is a black coach. Hold on, Don.
Because I want to Nate McMillan, he'd be out.
If this was the brother,
if that was Dwayne Casey, he would have been out.
If he would have lost control of this team, they'd have got smoked like they did by the Lakers. Tell the truth, Fluent. You guys already know this. The coach would have been fired instantly. Taylor Jenkins have had no smoke because of this, bro. And listen, this probably affects the team going forward. If Adam Silver comes down with a 40-game suspension, guess what that does to their season next year? Pretty much wrecks the half of their season. If this comes to a full season suspension, guess what? They're done. So another season, they're done. And now guess what it does? It forces you to trade Ja Morant. And guess what it does now? It eliminates a lot of his trade value. Because now teams can come to you and a dude who's a superstar level player and get him for pennies on the dollar because his value has been so destroyed now because you didn't do your job as a coach and control that whole situation. Now you cause the entire franchise.
Well, we don't know what the GM and the ownership are saying to Taylor Jenkins. Just because the media hasn't been pressuring Taylor Jenkins and calling for his job. Well, I mean, I don't think he deserves to be fired. Yeah. I think he should definitely. I think you know, they got the second.
What they did last year, Bob?
They got the second seed. I think Memphis is a very competitive team.
What they did? Hold on.
Well, hold on. If I believe also if what's his name, Brandon Clark and Steven Adams were healthy, I think they could have made it a hell of a series against the Lakers.
You think they beat the Lakers though, Tone?
Possibly, yes. I do. I think they have. I think they have a very. They went to 6 games without both of them. So why not? You know what I'm saying? I think any GM with you know with any sense will look at it like.
So what happened last year?
This coach just got coach of the year. He lost his starting 5 and his backup power forward. I got to give him. What
happened last year?
I got to give him a little bit of
rope.
Last
year, what happened?
I don't think he deserves to lose his job. Also, with that being said, Tiki, I also believe that we don't know. If he hasn't been approached and had a meeting with the big guys, they might have. For all we know, they might have been like, "Look, Taylor, I understand. Steven was hurt. I understand Brandon was hurt, but look, you need to get something done. You need to control your locker room. If not, we are gonna start hiring other potential replacements. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying.
I will tell you this, Ron. No, Ron. I will tell you this, Ron. When I look at it.
Chill, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna tell you why respectfully he's wrong. Chilltown. Who was just hurt for the Phoenix Suns fluent in Chilltown? Was Chris Paul hurt?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Now, what did Monty Williams do with that team when he first went over there?
What did he do with them? He established vets. Right? Yes, the first year he was there.
Right. So we're 2 years removed from
the second year he was there because the first year
that's new ownership. It's a completely different circumstance. But if you want to use examples, you have to at least keep it consistent.
I just want to finish my sentence. We're 2 years away from that, and he's fired. And go look at why James Jones and why said that they fired Monty Williams. Go look at why they said it yesterday. They released a statement yesterday on why they said they fired him. Now I want you to think about this. Now, Mike Budenholzer, much as we don't like him, he won a championship. He's fired 2 years later. Doc Rivers, he has a team. What does he do? He lets James Harden do what he want to do and go to Vegas, right? He capitulates to the player. What does he do? He gets fired. He loses his job. What happened with old boy that was in Toronto fluent that built that team up all the way until Nick Nurse came? What happened? What happened to him, Fluent? He gets fired, right? They get him out of there, right? And then you go get Kawhi.
That right there was wrong. I got you. I'll feel you with the Dwayne Casey.
And then what happens after that, Tone? Nick Nurse. He takes a team. He wins a championship, right or wrong, Tone? Then what happens 3 years later, Tone? They say he loses the voice of the locker room. What they do to him, Tone?
They let him go.
I would have fired Monty Williams too, though.
I'm saying
I would have fired Monty Williams. I also would have fired Doc Rivers too. But I don't think Taylor Jenkins deserves to lose his job yet.
Okay, so
maybe this year, give him 1 more year, Tiki, and I'm gonna be with you. 1 more year, I'm gonna be with you.
He get to keep his job. But all these other coaches, Nick Nurse went to won a championship, went to the finals. Monty Williams went to the finals. Doc Rivers been to the conference finals. Did lose leads, but all these other coaches, the coach that before Nick Nurse went to the conference finals year after year. All these dudes been fired. They've been losing their gigs. But this dude get to keep his gig, and he have done. And let's forget about this year. The Memphis Grizzlies supposed to have been a legit team for the last 3 years. They've done absolutely nothing for the last 3 years, but regress. Them dudes been fired, bro. Let's keep. If we're gonna keep it 100, all of it.
Nick Nurse is a white boy though, Ticket, so we can't.
I don't care. Hold on. I'm saying this to you again, right? Frank Vogel. What happened to Frank Vogel, Tone? He wins a championship with the Lakers. They give him a 1 year extension. He loses the team for 1 year, and he's fired. But we capped him for Taylor Jenkins.
That was a scapegoat. He was a scapegoat to preserve LeBron's legacy. Ticket.
All right, man.
Ron, I will tell you this though, Ron. Your man DeJounte Murray with that exchange I saw with the referee, he looked like, yo, if I catch you in traffic, it's gonna be something. That's what that looked like. If I catch you in traffic, I'm telling you right now.
Chill. He pressed the ref in front of 15,000 people minimum because the game was over. So let's just assume some people left. So he pressed the ref in front of 50,000 people and then got on Instagram and said that they was hating on him.
If I catch you in traffic, my man, it's gonna be. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be something. If I see you,
I want you to think about it. I'm narrative driven, but I just named you 8 coaches that went to the finals, won a championship, and 2 or 3 years later got fired and lost their gigs because they either lost the team or some of that stuff. Taylor Jenkins has been with the Memphis Grizzlies for how long, Tone? How many years?
How long has he been with them?
Well, he's been with the Memphis Grizzlies. Taylor Jenkins been with them for
That's a good question.
years, right?
That's a good
He's
question.
been with them for 4 or 5 years now, right?
He's been over there. I think
about four.
Right. He hadn't done any. He hadn't even been to the conference final. They've been talking all this stuff. They haven't been to the conference finals. You got the biggest scandal going on in the NBA. You can't control your team. He gets to keep his job. But we watch Monty Williams. We watch Nick Nurse. We watch Mike Budenholzer, who don't have none of these problems coming out of his team. We watch old boy that just got fired from the just left the Pistons that was with the Raptors before Nick Nurse. You watch Frank Vogel, who won a championship, and they say 1 year he loses his team with the Lakers, you're out, you're fired. But Taylor Jenkins,
you're kind of forgetting the most important thing, though. All of those coaches, all of those teams, all of those rosters come with different expectations. They also have to have a certain relationship with the GM and ownership. So, for example, Nick Nurse wanted to play his veteran players because he wanted to win. Masai Ujiri wanted him to play his young players so that they could be developed. That's why Nick Nurse got fired. Whether it's Vogel with the Lakers, their expectation is to win a championship. What's his name there in Phoenix?
Monty Williams.
Monty Williams. The expectation was at minimum you got. Forget that it was flawed, but there was someone saying, "Hey, our thought process is with KD, with CP3, with Booker, with Ayton, you're going at minimum to the Western Conference Finals, but the expectation was finals. You didn't get it done, you're out." Now, whether it's fair or not, unfortunately, that's besides the point. There's an expectation. In Memphis, the expectation is we have a very young team. Our oldest player is 29-year-old Steven Adams. Mm-hmm. Now, I agree he hasn't done a good job of keeping them all, in line. But at the same time, your job is to develop those players because we still think we're 2 years away. And maybe, I don't know, he has a good relationship with the GM. They have a long-term plan in place. So the expectation is different. And so yes, so it seems like a raw deal. And you sometimes question, why does this person get, longer leeway and the other person, 1 year and they're fired? Well, because all of those things come into effect. And again, I agree with you. I don't think he did a good job developing those young guys.
If you were the GM, would you fire Taylor Jenkins? Remember, they fired
me personally.
Last question, and we got to move on, fellas.
Me personally, yes.
No,
yes.
Go ahead, Fluent. You will fire him?
Oh yeah.
And you want to give us?
But if I'm the coach of that team, I'm also working with my GM to say, hey, we have a very young team. They're really rowdy. They're really cocky. They're super arrogant, which I like. But we need some veteran leadership to smack them back down to earth every once in a while because that's what they were missing. I can't do it necessarily as the coach. I'm the GM. Sorry, you can't necessarily do it as the coach. Let's get a couple of guys in there that will, and that's what that team is missing just as much as maybe coaching leadership.
Well, Fluent, that's one thing too, and I got to respect the GM that's not going to get into this thing that a lot of franchises are willing to do. Just moving off the coach, I'll move the coach every 2-3 years. I think we got to get back into letting the coach his team, build his roster, build the kids up, what do you call it? Develop them,
We already talked about this since 2019. Only Mike Malone, Pop, and Spo still have the same job.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Steve Kerr too.
And Steve Kerr. Sorry, yes,
that's
right.
That's
4 coaches out of 30, and it's only been 4 years. Like that's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, we got to keep it pushing. It might be some people out there that are laid back like Mars. You guys might be a little bored with our coaching narrative talk. So let's do something that might be fun for some of you guys. Let's go ahead and make some. Well, this might be the closest thing to a video game that they'll get. So hey, Mars, I have 5 picks for you today. I'm gonna lay them out for you, and you tell me what you want to do. Here we go. Let's load it up. Let's get it going. First and foremost.
Oh, okay.
First and foremost, Mars, I'm gonna give you the player. I'm gonna give you the stat, and you just tell me higher or lower. All right, we're gonna start right with Jokic. Mars, don't sell us today. Points, rebounds, and assist. At 51.5, does he do that tonight?
Higher.
Higher it is.
Hey, Sherelle Odom Jr., brush your teeth.
Moving along, Jimmy Buckets.
Somebody need to get him a Listerine on the rocks. Playing with me.
Once again, Mars, points, rebounds, and assists. It looks like we're at 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Lower
for Jimmy Buckets. Next, we're going to go to Jamal Murray. Points and assists, it looks like 32.5. Higher or lower?
24-9.
26-6.
Higher.
Cool. Now we're going to go back over to the Heat, and let's rock with Bam Adebayo. Points and rebounds at 28.5. Mars, are we going higher or are we going lower with 28.5?
Higher.
Higher it is. And Mars, Euro, stay right there. You can scroll down a bit. Mars, I'm going to give you freedom to...
Gabe Vincent higher, whatever it is. Gabe Vincent higher.
Whatever it is?
Yeah, whatever.
All right, Chill, would you like to choose the category?
How about we go combined? Points, rebounds, and assists.
Higher than 19.5, Gabe
Higher,
Vincent?
yeah. He'll do that just with points. So, yes, higher.
Okay. There we go. Chat.
He going for 20 tonight, Morris?
Yes.
Yeah, check him out.
All right.
If he goes for 20, that means Miami wins.
We're at a times 20 payout. If you look to the right, you can see that. And so we're maxed out right now. Euro. Actually, Mars. How much should we put in there?
40.
40 will get us 800. All right, let's do it.
All right.
Send it through. And there you have it.
You're welcome for me making you guys rich.
I like it.
Thank you, Mars.
No problem.
Let me see. So higher 51, higher 39, higher 32. Can you scroll up a little, please, Euro? Trying to check under Jamal. Bam. I just want to see Bam and Gabe. Higher 30. Are you a higher merchant, Mars?
I went low with Jimmy Butler.
Yo, and with that being said, I want to mention it one more time. We are doing a $400 giveaway tomorrow for anybody that takes a picture of their Underdog Fantasy app, their account, and sends it to the Player's Choice Instagram. You guys have until about another hour and a half to go ahead and do that. So, I don't want nobody to miss out on the money. I don't want to have to pocket it myself and, make myself rich with the wager that Mars just put up there. But, I mean, if necessary, I will. But continuing to move on, we have a couple super chats, and we're going to go ahead and get into that. Appreciate you, Euro, for helping us out. Man of Culture said, out of the 56 threes Miami has taken, 43 have been without a defender within 4 feet of them. That's a recipe for Denver losing if they don't clean it up.
But everybody in the chat room say I cap. When I told y'all all Miami been doing, all players getting open three. But y'all say I'm cap. All they got to do is make their shots. They ain't got to change nothing. And I'm cap right now. I'm talking about
6.
Look at that brother right there. I'm going to keep cooking these dudes three the hard way every day until y'all put me 6 feet under.
And there you have it. Does anybody else have anything to say about Miami not closing out?
I think they had like 9 or 10 wide open threes in game one, something like that. And gave them Max Strus went 0 for 10. So yeah, they got to make shots. That's all it is. But so does Denver. Denver got to make shots too.
To win a basketball game, a team has to make shots. Wow,
They have to.
It's crazy.
They have to make shots. And I don't know if you guys heard it, but that's kind of, in the words of my man Tone, the team that scores the most wins 100% of the time. So
Now you're more fluent.
go.
Super chat from Oregano Smoker. He said, I think Spo should play
Yurtsman.
in
Yeah.
the lineup.
I'm telling you, Mars. I know it sound goofy, Mars, but I would not be surprised if Spo at some point went there because
that's a big body chip.
Yes, sir, 7-footer.
Oh, you put him in the game.
With the Georgetown. He played it. He actually started a couple of games this season when Bam was out the lineup, and he isn't terrible.
I don't think Yurtsman's bad at all.
He isn't terrible.
I don't think he's bad at all.
My boy Alf was telling me about him last night.
Yeah, he isn't terrible.
He's Turkish, right?
I don't know if he's.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's why he was talking about him last night.
He isn't terrible.
That's exactly what he said, Chill. He said when Bam went out this season that he gave good minutes.
Yeah,
but I wasn't. I'm
Can't
not
Yurtsman shoot a little bit too?
game.
Yep. Rebound. He with the Georgetown. I think
Yeah.
He can play, yo.
He's 7 feet tall. We need him in there, protecting that paint.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Miami in 6. If they play Yerkson, Miami in 5.
Yurtsman.
Cliff Production said,
I think it's crazy. It's more likely that they go back to Denver up 3-1 than any other scenario.
Man, if Yerkison, whatever his name is, if he gets minutes, man, Thomas Bryant better be in the game. That's all I'm saying.
Cliff Production said Zeke Naji, Valkto Kankar gotta play over Jeff.
Over Jeff Green?
Over Jeff Green.
No.
I would say over Christian Brown before anything.
Yeah, not over Jeff Green.
Yeah,
no.
Jeff Green shooting 75%. I mean,
Jeff Green gives Jeff Green gives you good minutes in 12 minutes, Mars. Just so you know, not in 25 minutes, in 12 minutes.
exactly.
It's better than 17% from the 3.
Yes,
Exactly.
it is.
Shout out to Jeff Green, 75%.
I'd rather have that 75% on 4 shots than 17% on 17 shots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Now you're more fluent.
Thank you for making me more fluent.
Yeah.
Now you're more fluent.
Jeff Green is a living legend.
Drink More Water said,
It's not ridiculous to say that.
is Jimmy Butler the Eli Manning of the NBA?
No, he is not, sir. No, he is not the Eli Manning of the NBA. Number one,
I don't know who that's disrespectful towards.
That's disrespectful to Eli. That's disrespectful to Jimmy Butler.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that.
That's
Kevin
disrespect to Jimmy Butler to say Eli
Kevin
Manning.
Love
Eli
is
Manning's a dog.
Kevin Love is the Eli Manning of the NBA because every time he makes the playoffs, he makes it to the finals.
no, that's not
Just
the
like
same
Eli.
thing. Well, Eli has not made it to the Super Bowl every time he made the playoffs. So that's number one. Number two, Eli in the 16 years that he played for the New York Giants, these how many All-Pro teams he made? 0, none. Jimmy Butler is an elite player. Don't get me wrong. There was a
Kevin
stretch
Love, not Jimmy Butler.
during Eli Manning's career. He was elite. He was a top 10 quarterback, 100%. And Eli Manning is the guy who he's getting C's and B minuses during the season. I'm sorry, he's getting C's and B minuses, in grades, and then he takes the SAT and he gets a 1550. That's who Eli Manning is, 100%. Jimmy Butler is not that, because Jimmy Butler will give you throughout the season. He'll give you a couple of A's. He'll give you a couple of B pluses. Eli Manning was better than above average. He was good, but he wasn't Jimmy Butler good in the regular season. No, he was never an All-Pro.
The chat's telling me that Eli Manning is a champion.
Twice.
Eli Manning has gotten out of the first round of the playoffs twice. Both times he won a Super Bowl. Eli Manning, champion.
Yeah, champion.
And by the way, he was.
Yo, boys, go watch the game.
Twice.
The chat told me he's a champion.
And the Super Bowl, which is he's basically, and he was the Finals MVP twice too, Mars. By the way, because he was the Super Bowl MVP twice.
Thank you, JB.
So
Tony
he's not
Romo's
Jimmy
better
Butler.
than Eli Manning, Mars. Tony
No.
Romo's
Hey,
better
he
than
don't got
Eli
2 of them, though. All right, then.
Give me
And
Joe
he beat the
Flacco.
goat. And he
give me
beat the
Joe
goat both
Flacco.
times. He
Not
beat the goat
once.
both
He
times.
beat Patrick
not
Mahomes
once.
twice. Wow.
No, Brady.
Fire.
Oh, not yeah. He's not good.
Oh, Mars.
Not once.
Mahomes ain't the
Yeah.
GOAT yet. Mahomes not the GOAT yet, bro.
No,
He's up.
no,
He's
no,
on the
he's
way. Not yet.
No,
though.
he's the guy.
After he wins the Super Bowl this year, then we can have a discussion.
You ain't hearing nothing about no Tom Brady. That guy's a
Yeah,
bum.
give me Tony Romo. Give me
Tom
Joe
Brady only won
Flacco.
because he had good defenses. Stop it.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, agree.
Players Choice Gridiron. You guys make sure to tap into that next week. Kwabe said, when has Thomas Bryant ever averaged 10 and 10?
He's never averaged
he
10. He never averaged 10 and 10, but he was a 13 and 7 guy. He was like a 14 and I think 6 guy, something like that. So irregular. First and foremost, you don't know me, sir, to call me that. You do not know me. So relax on the quote unquote grill town, because what grill town means is that I'm on the grill getting cooked. That's what that means. And that's not true.
I thought you were cooking.
No,
because you're like a grill master. You're like the grill master.
That's what Ticket got, because I'm on the grill getting cooked, and that's not true. So irregular. Do yourself a favor, my man. Address me like you would address your father, or you would address your uncle. Don't talk to me like that, because you don't know me.
Yeah, 13 and 7. You're right. In Washington, went 13 and 7, and then the next year 14 and 6. Yeah, good for him.
He got it.
The Tribe One said Mike isn't going to play more of his bench. They don't need to. A huge overreaction to a 3-point loss. MPJ and KCP play better, and they'll be fine.
And that's why Denver's going to lose, because they got Bryant and Jordan on their team, and they're not playing them.
Jordan.
You do. Bryant and Jordan.
There was a time when DeAndre Jordan gave you real minutes. Like today,
all NBA first team in 2016.
Yes, he was, and didn't make the All-Star team that year.
I was talking about a different Jordan and Bryant. Yes,
he did not make the All-Star team that year. But there was a time when he gave you legit minutes. He was an All-League defender. He was an All-NBA performer. But how he fell out of the rotation and just became completely unplayable is beyond me. I don't get it.
Taiwan said the trolling last episode was crazy.
Courtesy of this dude right here. Right here, this dude over here. He's the leader of the trolls. Yeah,
I just asked the important questions. If
you don't, Mars.
Trolling, then
you don't.
I guess I just asked the important.
Takes
questions.
the hood off. You know what happens? It's that troll hair.
Foster Boone said, "Shout out to the Patriot League, OG."
100%,
yes, sir. Savon Mauzan said, "What about Thomas Bryant digs into MPJ's minutes? Go even bigger on an already small team in the Heat. Bryant in there with Joker. What y'all think?"
Depending on what the matchup is against the Heat, I mean, that might be costly. I don't know what kind of lineup they're going to run. They're a small team. If you're trying to force them to go big, maybe. I mean, Thomas Bryant is a 40%. I mean, he typically shoots 40% behind the three throughout his career, for real, when he's really been getting minutes and playing. He's a reliable shooter for the most part. I feel like it'll work. Defensively, it'll be disgusting. I mean, they're getting cooked defensively.
Dumbo, though. That's my thing, though. You don't go big to shoot threes. You go big to get on the block and pound the paint.
Yeah.
So I mean, would you bring Thomas Bryant in?
But I still would assume if you have Thomas Bryant in the game with Jokic, you're still going to want the rim relatively clear when you're running your offense to get guys slashing to the hole. You don't want Thomas Bryant just standing there on the block with a man right there where Aaron Gordon's going to cut and try to get to the rim. Well, I don't know what the five will be. If you have Thomas Bryant there instead of MPJ, who's the five? It's him, Jokic. You got Jamal Murray out there.
You can't play Aaron Gordon, Jokic, and Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to.
No.
Well, Thomas Bryant can shoot the three. Thomas Bryant has shot the
Christian
three.
Brown? Christian Brown at the three?
No, I'm saying no. Thomas Bryant has shot the three 44% or over the last 4 out of 5 years.
Even if he shoots the three, we can't have all three of them on the floor at the same time. No, that's not going to work.
Who's your three in this situation?
Aaron Gordon.
This situation will never happen, by the way, just so we know.
Definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, it's not happening.
And it shouldn't happen. So, Michael Malone, I know you pay attention
to
the media. Don't do that.
Mars, I disagree with that. The reation why is this.
But you want Miami to win, so why would
No. I'm speaking from a realistic perspective. I'm not trolling like you were yesterday. If you have those two big guys in there, rebounds wins championships. I think that the Denver Nuggets could really put a hamper on them and control the boards with Thomas Bryant, him, and Aaron Gordon in the game. I think they could really pound them because that's what worked in game one is they were big. I think if you go bigger, that really gives them problems now. Because I think Thomas Bryant can move a little bit better on those pick and roll situations, on the perimeter. I don't think he's a better rim protector, but I do think that if they play a little bit bigger, that will cause them to control the boards. And the fact that Thomas Bryant has shot 44% from the three-pointer basically 4 out of the last 5 years, I think that does give you enough floor spacing to be able to keep him on the floor for a few minutes. I can see Thomas Bryant playing 18 minutes in this series a game. I just think that, and then I think he can give you 8 to 10 rebounds in those minutes. I think that helps you in the book. Because remember, Kevin Love only played 19 minutes. He got 10 rebounds. How much you think that helped Miami, those 10 rebounds he got last game?
Maybe in the difference in the game.
10 rebounds. How much you think that helped Miami last game? He got 10 rebounds in 18 minutes. Think about that.
Michael Malone, don't play Thomas Bryant if you want to win.
Not the 4. I say back up 5 minutes easily.
I agree with that too, Damo. I agree with that.
Keys said, "Hey Tone, hope you and your family good over there. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, and that wildfire got us effed up over here. Hope y'all straight."
Yeah,
just so for those of y'all that are not aware, so it's spelled Newark, which is pronounced Newark, but if you're from Jersey, it's Newark.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Y'all got wildfires over there too?
No. It's the wildfires in Quebec, but the smoke has been blowing over into where I am in Toronto, even Jersey. Dub was saying they were getting it there. So it's just smoky. It's hurting your eyes a little bit, but everybody's straight.
Yeah, it was like a picture that I seen on Instagram yesterday of the Yankee Stadium, like before the game or during the game, and it just looked crazy. It looked like a crazy overcast.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, but it also smells like someone's overdoing the barbecue. And then like they're not letting our kids out for recess, like outside. They're keeping them indoor because of the smoke. So hopefully it passes. It will pass.
Be smooth. The Be Smooth that you guys have grown to love and adore. He said Player's Choice Father's Day episode.
We was talking about parenting. Yeah.
We teach.
That's what we do. Yes, sir. We do that. So.
Keys with another super chat. He said ESPN Radio said the NBA is investigating the weapon Ja had in connection with the Young Dolph shooting. Yo, Ticket is the secret. You heard about the situation, or is this the secret? You heard about the situation?
I plead the fifth, brother. I don't speak on street business. I plead the fifth, man. I don't speak on street business. I don't speak on no street business.
Not funny, bro.
I don't speak on no street business.
Not at all.
If I know something, I ain't never speaking on street business. I want everybody to know that.
Don't ask me no questions.
Well, I'm saying either way, regardless of what it is, if that was just a joke or if that's serious, you know what I'm saying? If that's serious, okay, but if that's a joke, bro, like that's not funny, that man.
So, Ticket, you don't believe in see something, say something?
No, we don't do no talking. You know what I'm saying? We mind our own when it comes to that type of thing. You put yourself in the line of fire. I don't never do that. No.
I'm a snitch, so
yeah, we know Mars.
Yeah. Mars, we've already let's get to the bottom of this right now. Mars, we've already established the fact. To this day, we've already established it moving forward. Mars, you are a scumbag. We already know that. Okay, that is 100% true. You are a scumbag. 100%. You're a terrible friend. You are a troll, and you are a scumbag. And we've already established that. There's no misunderstanding.
I deny the troll allegation.
I will say this. I will say this though, Mars. If you are an upstanding citizen, and if you do tell, that does not make you a scumbag.
Oh no, I'm involved. I just snitch on everyone else.
Oh, then that's a scumbag. Yeah, never mind.
Yep.
A Nastiest said, Ron, has the panel decided anything about the allegations attached to the actions of Dub Sterling on the latest episode of Open Gym yesterday?
Well, Mars can't confirm. Mars can't confirm or deny what was said. Yes, Sterling. We do need to go dig into what's going on.
Go ahead, snitch, Mars. What happened?
Mars can't confirm.
We may or may not have been talking about Bill Russell and why he's so great in NBA history. And then Lowe spoke about his impact for Black people and civil rights. And then there may have been some laughter coming from Dub. Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe
I also may have been laughing, but
chat, we need timestamps.
Or maybe not.
that is a
Chat,
suspended.
drop the timestamps.
We can't confirm nor deny that Mars was involved on some level. We can't.
Exactly. There's no evidence.
But I'm
against
going off the fact as a police officer or as a detective. My theory is Mars is 100% involved in this.
I love whoever said Young Reek Mars 6'9". I don't know who said it originally, but that's hilarious.
Mars is 100% involved.
Y'all don't trip. I got my people on it right now.
Yeah, Mars is 100% involved in this. So,
Dub Sterling. Hope they don't make you sell your show, Dub.
I'll hold it down.
Lonnie Williams said, Mars, with Messi coming to Miami, any other superstars you see follow the trend of going to Saudi or America?
They're still retirement leagues. Messi's going there. He's old. It's a retirement league. Benzema just went to Saudi Arabia. It's a retirement league. But yeah, I think old superstars are gonna still go to the MLS because I mean the lifestyle, I guess, is worth it and the money's good. So yeah, as a retirement league, yes. But any players in their prime, no.
That's why Zlatan came to the MLS. Okay, yep. I can get because he did retire like 2 years later, something like that.
He just retired like last week. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like
well, yeah, it is like 2 years later, but like he just retired like last week. So
I know that none of you watch golf anyways, but it's time to ban the PGA for everybody who's watching. Stop! Don't watch PGA. Cut them off.
Oh, is there a reason for it?
Live. Why? Because the Live Golf tournament started a tournament and offering players millions of dollars to go play there. The PGA said these guys are a bunch of like, they're funding terrorism and they're human rights violations. And this was 1 year ago they said all this, and anything you do for them is be horrible for the world. Today, 1 year later, they just merged with them and took.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Hey, and y'all know what's the craziest part?
Business is business, man. Business is business.
What's the craziest part is they was telling their players or their golfers, if you guys go sign over there, we don't want nothing to do with you. You can't come back over here. But you know the contracts they was turning down?
They were turning down hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hundreds of millions.
And those guys should be pissed because I turned down $100 million and then a year later, now you're signing with them. So I missed out on a year or could have got $100 million or whatever it was. It's
fluid. I'm pulling up to the commissioner with John Morant. I'm gonna just put it like that.
What's John Morant gonna do with his water gun? What's he gonna do?
Nothing.
Pull up on ice cube.
Scare everybody. He's pulling up to scare everybody, man.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody scared of John.
You guys laugh, but you watch. There's gonna be a Saudi basketball league coming out, and it's gonna merge with the NBA. Things are changing.
We already seen that with the NBA and the ABA. We already seen that. That's over.
There you go.
Kjima89 said, if Jimmy Buckets returns and wins, we have a Wade/Jimmy debate, and his run from a historical perspective and improbability is similar to Bron in 2016.
The 2016 run, when you say the run, you're only talking about the finals. Everyone knew the Cavs were making the finals. Everyone knew they were going to beat Toronto. Everyone knew they were going to beat Atlanta. Everyone knew they were going to beat who they play in the first round, Detroit or something. Like everyone knew they were going to make the finals. It wasn't improbable. It was improbable that they came back from 3-1. Right. But even in the finals, it's not like everyone was like, oh, Cavs have no chance. No one said that. They just went down 3-1 and then they had no chance. So improbable. I mean, Miami is actually improbable because most people had them losing in round 1 and then in the conference finals and then in this series. That's improbable. Shout out to the Cavs though.
They beat an overrated team.
It's David said, rank in order: peak Derrick Rose, Nash, CP3, and Russ.
Hey,
Nash, Chris Paul, Rusty Rose.
Right. So let's just say Derrick Rose because there was no peak Derrick Rose. Okay, Derrick Rose in year 4, he was not at his peak. He was 20. What was he? 20, 21.
That was the peak of his career.
That's the peak we got
prime.
to see.
There was no prime, but we did see his peak.
That was his.
No, the peak. A player's peak is always the best they ever were. Now, did he have more levels to get to? Possibly, but the best he ever was that year.
We never saw his prime.
Like Luka Doncic right now is at his peak until he hits another level, and that would then be his peak after that. Your peak is the best you ever were.
And I don't think that that's what this question is about. I think that he's matching these guys up with guys who have peaked and going this way. Derrick Rose, like this was it right here. So if we're matching up Derrick Rose with Steve Nash, who's peaked, and Chris Paul, who peaked, and Russell Westbrook, who peaked, as opposed to Derrick Rose after 4 years, there probably was more. There was probably
that's,
more
that's
there.
what I'm saying, but that's why I think he used peak instead of prime because I don't think he made it
I
to
don't like
how
that,
good he
man.
could
I
have been.
don't. Yeah.
So
That's why I don't think that these
at their
dudes.
best. At their best. D
that's why I
Rose,
don't
Nash,
think-
CP3, Russ.
But that's why I'm having a
D-Rose
problem.
is lost anyway. So.
Yes, he is, because I'm having a problem with him in this conversation with these dudes, considering where he was. Well, Derrick Rose, the youngest league MVP in NBA history, he was 22 years old, and there was probably more. But 22-year-old Derrick Rose at his peak was not better than Steve Nash. He was not better than Chris Paul. He was not better than Russell Westbrook. No, he wasn't.
Nash, so it's Nash, CP3, Russ, Rose. That's the order.
That's why I have, yeah.
I had CP3, Nash, Russ, Rose, but that's just me. I'm biased for CP3.
Well, there you go. At least you.
It's all a bunch of losers anyway. I mean,
is the Russ logic is because
my two-time MVP Canadian over them. You know, maybe I'm biased.
Nash does have the most MVPs. That's true.
Is the Russ logic because of his shooting? Would that be what it is? Why he's behind the rest of these guys? Because considering, I mean, he did lead the league in scoring. He did have 4 out of 5 seasons where he averaged a triple-double, which has never happened in NBA history. So is it because he wasn't as efficient as you guys would like him to be?
Ball dominance, decision-making, the fact he can't shoot, his fit with other players is probably worse than those guys. There's probably many reasons. His shooting is probably the reason why he has a lot of those flaws.
The primary reason.
Yeah, I guess so, but
I'm gonna say this: there's a bunch of not you guys, but I guarantee you in the chat and other places, there's a bunch of hypocrites. There's a bunch of hypocrites out there that are putting Russ last, who will tell you an all-around player is a better player, and Russ is the most all-around player. And they're gonna say the person who has the most total stats, that's the best player. Well, that's Russ too. And they're gonna be hypocrites, and they're gonna put Russ last, even though that's what they say for other players.
I would just keep it real simple. To me, in my biased mind, Russ is just the biggest loser out of those 3. So I will put him
no one
last.
cares if you win.
Wait, other than Chris Paul, Russ is the only other one who played in the finals.
Yes, he did.
D-Rose never played in the finals. Steve Nash.
That's fine. I mean, Steve Nash was close, but Steve Nash.
We don't get points for close.
I feel like Steve Nash led teams peaked higher than Russ led teams.
Yeah, because I guess Russ led teams. Some would argue Amari Stoudemire was actually the best player on those Suns teams. So
I mean, and to those some,
I'll argue that.
There we go.
And to those some, I would say to each their own. Hey man, everyone has an opinion. That's fine to be respectful. But yeah, Steve Nash, I would say as the number 1 on the team, his team's peaked higher. With Russell Westbrook, you had the luxury of playing alongside a Kevin Durant, which I'm gonna use Ticket's argument. Without Kevin Durant, what has he done? I would hate to go there with it, but as a number 1 compared to the rest of these guys who have been number 1s on their team, Steve Nash and Chris Paul led teams peaked higher than the Russ led team.
Well, D-Rose peaked higher than the Russ led team.
Russ was the number 1. Russ was the number 1 in OKC. Steph was the number 1 in the Warriors. KD's just the number 2. Get out of here. Move on.
I guess.
Valid argument.
And Russ as the leader. I mean, I don't think he had the crew that Steve Nash had. I don't think he had the crew that Chris Paul had. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did play with James Harden, but that was James Harden on the other side of who James Harden was. I mean, when he was in Oklahoma City, I mean, he didn't have what Steve Nash had. He did not have what Derrick Rose had.
Because that jerk left and ran to the team that beat him.
I'm not gonna say it was I understand that Hornets team wasn't just a bunch of pushovers, but I'm trying to think how great.
Respect David West.
Respect David West. Respect Emeka Okafor. Respect those guys. I'm not gonna say they were bad guys, but I want to see how productive they were.
I'd like to think. I'd like to think that those guys were better than any of after any post KD guys in Oklahoma.
And I mean, even then, Chris Paul was losing with that team anyway, like second round, first round.
Right.
It's not like he was doing
all these guys was losing.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Nash was making the conference finals and losing.
Russell
Westbrook made the finals.
Is that what the question was? Rank these losers?
Oh yeah, David West alone is the second best player on any of those.
Rank these losers.
Yeah. That's basically what it was.
Hey, but on the Warriors teams, wasn't Rasul Butler on those teams too?
Rasul Butler was on those crew. Yeah, Rasul Butler. Yeah, he was on those
crew. Wrong Butler.
Someone just said I ain't gonna lie. Paul George was what a top. He was everyone was saying a top 5 MVP voting, top 3 MVP voting that year. What 20?
Yeah, but then he also had the shoulder injuries and he couldn't.
Yeah.
He had
That's
to get
fine.
like quarter zone shots to play in the playoffs. So
True, context is always important. But
Injuries aren't an excuse. All right, next super chat.
He still have a great teammate though.
yeah, I mean, so did Chris Paul. And
Yo, I could Russell Westbrook in them 2 games when they lost to Utah. He took 83 shots in them 2 games. I couldn't believe it. He did that.
I love it.
He went
Oh
down.
my
He went down
God.
swinging. He went down swinging.
43 shots in one game.
He wanted to show Ricky Rubio who was the
Shooter,
best
shooter.
point
And
guard.
there was a game where he took 23s. I know that.
Shooters shoot,
Because-
bro.
Oh my God, Mars. He
I
took
mean,
40
most of them came at
shots
the
in
end
one
when they
game.
needed threes to win, so it's a bit crazy.
Meanwhile,
He did
Carmelo
take 10
Anthony
threes.
and Paul George are on that crew. They got to be looking at him like, what are you doing, D?
Yeah,
Paul George was selling to
shots
be
from him. I
Paul
can
George was
understand
selling.
that.
But yeah,
All right, fellas. Let's go ahead and transition. We got a big game tonight, right?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, it's game 3 of the NBA Finals. I need thoughts and I need predictions on what happens tonight, the first game in Miami. Does Denver come with it, or does Miami hold down their home court? Damo, I'm gonna start with you first. How you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling like a hater tonight, so I want to say we're not going to get Duncan Robinson coming off the dribble, giving you that 10 off the bench. We might see a little bit of more. I would think my gut's telling me Bam is probably going to still look like the 3rd best center in the NBA or top 3 center in the NBA, and dominate. But I would like to say, just for the shits and giggles, I would say Bam is kind of going to show an inconsistent night. Jimmy Butler should try to be Hemi. I don't know if he's going to be Hemi. We did have that 13-7-7 game in game 1. So he is liable to have a off game. He's not going to be perfect all game. I would think this would be the best night if the Nuggets are going to win in 6, in my opinion, for those guys that have this bad game, have that off night. And KCP is not going to have such a crazy bad game in terms of fouls and costly fouls when he's had them. MPJ is going to be more consistent. He's not going to be a double agent or a terrorist, as I said before. They're going to clean it up on the Nuggets side. And hey, we might even see some Thomas Bryant minutes. We're going to see something different from the Nuggets that gives them a little spark. Is my prediction.
Okay. Fluent. What do you? No, go ahead, Chill.
The last game that they just played Miami, the last game that Miami just played Denver, that's the first time they beat them since 2016. They haven't beaten them in almost 7 years. So with that being said, Denver's game plan is predicated on guys like Jamal Murray, guys like MPJ, guys like KCP being smarter. I think that them coming down to South Florida, getting out of Denver, I think that altitude change is gonna help Miami. I'm sorry, it's gonna help Denver. I think Joker is gonna be better, not just in his distribution, but in his ability to score and rebound. I think he's gonna put a lot of pressure on. I think he's gonna put a lot of pressure on Bam offensively to make Bam guard more, maybe quite possibly to tire him out. And then ultimately, I think that Denver wins this game tonight. I think Jamal Murray goes off.
Fluent, how are you feeling about that?
I said at the beginning of the show, I'll say it again. Miami's gonna come out early. They're gonna push the tempo, get a lead, and then slow it down and play their game the rest of the way. Miami wins game 3. If that was the first time since whatever, this will be the second time since then that Miami beats Denver. And I'm expecting them to shoot the ball extremely well because that's what they have to do. So don't be surprised if you see 45, 50% from 3. And they're going to win this game. Look, I don't think any of these games are going to be blowouts. So it's going to be close. It's going to come down to the last couple of possessions, but Miami wins game 3 for sure.
Got you. Yo, Ox, how you feeling about tonight?
I feel similar to what Fluent was saying. Fluent, where I disagree with you is that I do think that Miami's going to handle Denver by a wider margin. I wouldn't call it a blowout, but I think Miami's gonna take care of business tonight. I don't see Michael Porter Jr. just becoming. I think this is gonna be one of those series, one of those finals where we look back and say, "Well, Michael Porter Jr. sold." You know, he's not gonna wake up tonight. If he does wake up, it won't be tonight. Not in Miami, not in this atmosphere. I think the arena is gonna be upside down. I think Denver's not gonna get back in the game. I don't.
You going to the game tonight? Chill.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna. They're gonna get on them quick, get on them early, and they're gonna sustain that the whole time.
I probably should though.
I was gonna say you should go.
Probably should. Maybe I will. I don't know.
All right, well, we'll see tomorrow. If you do, we need to hear all about the environment and the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
But
I know
Mars,
he hates going because all those guys keep asking him for pictures and stuff. Richard Jefferson always bugging him. Like, I hear why you don't want to go. It's a pain. I hear you.
He ain't talking about nothing, Ron. Anyway.
Mars, can you tell us what's going to happen tonight?
I believe that the Denver Nuggets are probably going to score more points than the Miami Heat. And the reason for that is because I just feel that way in my guts. I have no plan. I just believe that Denver are going to win. And I'll see how they ended up winning tonight, and then I'll talk about how they won tomorrow.
Got you. Ticket. What's going to happen tonight?
You always save the boss Ricky Ross for last. Triple C's, lemon pepper wing stop. What at the game tonight?
Lemon pepper.
Cheeseburgers, chilling like a Paris. Anyways, though, ain't nothing changed. Set the number after the dot on the range. The way brothers look at me now, kind of strange. I hate y'all too. Rather be in Caribbean. Listen, man. Nothing changed, man. M.I.A.O. tonight at home. They'll hit shots, and Jimmy will play better tonight offensively. Jokic will play worse tonight. I actually thought Jokic was going to have a great offensive night. I think Jokic just due for one of those bad games. I think Jokic will have like maybe a 20 point game, something like that. I think Jokic will have a bad game. I don't think he'll have a lot of assists. As far as, 13, 14, it'd probably be around 7, 8 assists. It won't be enough, man. And I think, like I said, like Bob said, I think Michael Porter Jr., he's going to crumble under the NBA Finals pressure. I do agree with Damo. I think that, KCP is going to have a better night tonight as far as defensively. But I don't trust them guys. The only guy out of them dudes I really trust in these situations is Doodoo Brown to really bring that same energy and come with it. And so, and Murray. But I don't think Murray's going to have like an explosion no more. I think that Jimmy Butler going to put that on wraps quietly. So I see him having around a 23-point game, hard 23 game. Jokic, like I said, man, I just think Miami is their time, man. And I think that tonight they're just going to step up and show. And I think the whole narrative after tonight is going to switch. Everybody's been doubting Miami this whole time. People still thinking they're going to lose. People still betting against them, still betting against the way they play. I think they win this game tonight, man. Stars come out, early crowd in Miami. Normally a late arriving crowd in Miami. It'll be an early crowd tonight, all white affair, baby. Y'all know how I go. The M.I.A.O. The Miami Heat. You understand? They'll win this game, man. I got about a 7-point win tonight. So yeah, man. And we go to game 4. In game 4, everybody be talking about how the season's on the line for the Denver Nuggets. So yeah. That's what I think is gonna happen, man. And then all this Jokic talk, I won't have to hear from Lowe no more after this series is over with. Whenever I see Lowe, it's on site.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, fellas. A couple more super chats that I want to go ahead and run into.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Biscuit Jr. said, Chill saying it's crazy that Russ took those shots, but doesn't mention PG going 2 for 16 with more turnovers than points and Melo being unplayable defensively.
And I love how you mentioned that it's just stats, right? You completely forgetting where Paul George got those shots. You forgetting how he got those shots, how Russell Westbrook was playing, how he was playing off of Russell Westbrook, as opposed to just looking at the box score. When I'm watching Paul George and he was actually not getting good shots early. Because Russell Westbrook, who was shooting, even though Russell Westbrook actually shot pretty good in the third quarter of that game, like if I remember correctly, he had knocked down a couple of mid-range shots. Paul George never really got an opportunity to get in rhythm. Carmelo Anthony took 0 shots in the fourth quarter of that game. And you know why he took 0 shots in the fourth quarter of that game? Because Russell Westbrook was shooting the basketball the majority of the game. I think he took 1 shot in the second half. So you can't get a scorer going when a scorer isn't involved in the game in rhythm. And that's what Russell Westbrook was not doing. He was not getting those guys involved. So when you're talking about the box score, do yourself a favor. Watch the game too.
All right. Versatile Anomaly said, y'all surprised Highsmith isn't getting PT? I am.
What do you mean?
He's playing, isn't he?
Yes,
He is.
Yeah, he is playing. Mm-hmm. He's playing, and he's actually pretty productive for them too. Mm-hmm. Definitely playing.
Alan R said Steve Nash not better than Shea. Shaking my
No,
head.
facts. I forgot about that. Yeah, Shea does clear Steve Nash. Yeah, I did forget about that. My fault.
Does he? Or am I bugging out?
That's what I was told. So I mean, as someone.
Hey, Ron, send Mr. Master link. He doing all that running his mouth about Chill and the brothers. Tell him to bring tell Mr. Master to come on.
Yes, send him whoever it is, send him the link and come through, my man.
Can I send Mr. Master link? Mr. Master running his mouth too much, bro. It's about Chill, bro. I'm not gonna let you do it, dog. I'm not gonna let you do it. I just seen what you said about Chill Town down there, bro.
Yeah.
I told
Come
you.
Come on in here.
If you want to talk to me, you ain't finna talk about the people on the panel, especially when you are a jabroni like you are, man.
Yeah. Come on in here. Yeah. Send him the link. Yes, send him the link.
You sending it to him, Ticket?
Yeah, this is a straight scrub.
Yeah, send him the link.
Conversation running his mouth all week. Now he just talking about Chill capping what he said about he capping.
Yeah,
told the truth.
Come on in here. Come on in here. This the dude who I ended up cooking him, Tone. I ended up cooking him on your on your live Ticket and talking about James. Yeah, I remember this dude. Yeah, come on in here, my man. Come on in here and get and come get it while you running your mouth. Because essentially what these dudes want, when you see people up here doing it, they think they can do what you do on a regular, and they can't. But if you think you can do it, come on up here, my man.
I got it right now.
Paging Mr. Mass.
Come on up here, Mr. Mass.
Too much talking.
It'd be good content for me to just sit back and watch. So.
Yeah,
Paging Mr.
You're gonna talk about Chill capping on what he said about Paul George. Said, "Oh, if you a star, you don't need no rhythm." What are you talking about? Stars need to get in rhythm too sometimes. There you go, right there. We'll bring it in, Mr. Mass.
Come on in. Yeah, come on in here.
Come on up, man.
Come on in here.
This was
hey, Ron, you know how I feel about that rhythm statement. I agree with Mr. Mass on that. Like, you got to get out there. And you got to get to work. I don't got time to wait for you to get into no rhythm.
Well, wait a minute though. If I miss my first 2 or 3 shots, that doesn't mean that I'm not in rhythm. I just missed my first, and then I got to get going. And it depends on where you get me shots at. If you getting me shots in different spots where I'm not accustomed to getting shots, then of course I'm gonna be out of rhythm. I'm not just gonna step on a big ox. You and me have had this. You and me have gone back and forth with this all the time. I'm not just because I step on the floor, I'm nice. There are things that need to happen with me stepping on the floor. You do have to play to my. You do have to play to my strengths.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if especially if we're talking about a star player, I can't accept you having spots on the floor that you're not comfortable shooting the ball in. How are you my star player? Unless you're like, especially if you're like a wing player, you play that 2 guard, 3 guard, and even into some some 4s and 1s. But especially if you're a 2 or 3 guard, how is there even a spot on the floor you're not comfortable shooting the ball?
But didn't PG average 28 a game that series?
I'm not denying.
I'm not sure he averaged that much.
I'm not denying the fact.
This one series, Russell Westbrook had all those shots those last couple games against Dame. I thought that's the series he's talking about.
Oh no, against Utah, against
the year before that. But we talking about the year before that. Right, I understand your logic. I understand your logic, Big Ox. But if I haven't touched the ball in 3 or 4 trips, right? If I haven't touched the ball in 4 or 5 trips, because my point guard is shooting the basketball every trip, well, I'm going to get out of rhythm. Especially the majority of scorers, the majority of great scorers, even your man, Mini Maxos, as good a scorer as Tracy McGrady is, Tracy McGrady plays in rhythm. And if you don't get Tracy McGrady the basketball 3 or 4 trips, you got to now get him back in rhythm, as opposed to, I ain't seen him in 3 or 4 trips and it's just expect to give him the ball. He just going to get going again. That's not what Tracy McGrady's game is. That's not what most scorers' game is. Most scorers, you get them in rhythm. Now, I can get 1 or 2 trips where I haven't touched the ball, maybe even 3. But when we talk about 4, 5, 6 trips or 2, 3 minutes where I haven't touched the basketball, now I got to get back in rhythm because I'm not in it anymore, especially considering I got to run back on defense because Russell Westbrook shot the ball 5 straight trips from 3, and now they basically sped the game up. Now I got to get myself back in rhythm as opposed to just when I was in rhythm a minute ago. So,
yeah, I hear you. I like the type of players like, that can, especially if you like play down low or wherever you play. I like the type of player where you don't have to get the shot every time down. Like you can come down the court in maybe once every 6 possessions, but in the meantime, you stay in rhythm, just being engaged on the defensive end,
right?
Running through the offense and whatnot. It just keeps you engaged to where it's like I don't have to shoot a lot. I can shoot 9 to 11 shots a game and still be impactful on the offensive end.
Which is fair too, Big Ox. But when we having trips, like I might not necessarily have to shoot, but like we was talking about with Russell Westbrook, we go 4 or 5 trips and I don't touch it. There's a difference between me actually shooting the basketball and touching it, just like a big man. Like I'm going to keep you engaged. That means that you're going to read more. That means you're going to rim protect more. If I keep you engaged, you ain't necessarily got to shoot it every trip. But if you at least touching the ball, they had trips where Russ came down 5, 6 straight trips, and he's just shooting the basketball. Well, damn. How am I going to stay in, not just engaged, but stay in rhythm if that's going on? It's not.
Right. Mr. Nash ain't pull up yet? Ron, I sent it you.
Yeah. He's right here actually. As a matter
bring
of
him
fact,
up.
I'm right here, fellas. And hey, first and foremost, man, Grill trying to cook me on Tickets channel, man. He was easy work.
He's got roasted.
Grill came with those ESPN talking points on Tickets channel. He was easy work. I flamed him in less than 5 minutes, bro. Everything he said, I do
it right now. So do it right now. Let's forget what we was talking about before.
Let me get to this Paul George rhythm nonsense, okay? You think Jamal Crawford needs rhythm? He's a scorer, bro. That's what he do. Why are we giving star players excuses about scoring? That's why you're a star player, bro. I don't care. Russ took 45 shots in a row. If you're a PG, you play bad, 2 for 16. Ain't no excuses, bro. Get to your spots and score the basketball. What are you talking about, man?
Now I'm glad you brought that up.
What are you talking about, bro?
I'm glad you brought that up. So when Jamal Murray comes into the game, not Jamal Murray, I'm sorry. When Jamal Crawford comes into the game as a scorer, what do they do immediately when he comes into the game? They go to him immediately. They call his number. In the process of them calling,
every time they don't.
I'm not done. In the process of them calling his number, he gets right into rhythm. He doesn't have trips. 4, 5, 6, 7 trips where he doesn't touch the ball, where he doesn't shoot the basketball. You know why? Because when he comes into the game, when he comes off the bench, that's my job. I'm buckets. And as buckets, I'm immediately in rhythm because they come to me. Jamal Crawford was a terrible example. Try again, my man.
Yeah, once again, Grill Town, because he stays on the grill getting cooked all the time. He's lying again. He's known for lying, bro. You've been caught in multiple lies when you talk to me, bro. First and foremost, hold on, bro. I'm not done yet, bro.
We're not talking about anything,
bro. I'm not done yet, bro.
All you're doing is insulting me.
I didn't cut you off, bro.
You're not giving us any logic.
I didn't cut you off. Grill Town. I didn't cut you off, bro. Now again, bro, stop lying to the people, man. Every time Jamal Murray comes on the floor, right? They don't instantly go to him, bro. You want to know why?
Murray? We're not talking about Jamal Murray. You brought up Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford.
So let's get on Jamal Crawford.
They don't instantly go to Jamal Crawford. You want to know why? Because he's a bucket getter, bro. Jamal Crawford got in rhythm before the game.
That's why they go to him. That's
why
why
we
they
giving
go
Paul
to him
George an
instantly.
excuse for?
What are you talking about? That's why they go to him instantly.
No, they don't.
What are you talking about? Yes, they do. As soon as he comes in the game, him, Lou
Hey,
Williams, scorers. That's what
I can't get my shit off, man, because Grill Town keep interrupting me, man. Like, I mean, come on, bro.
Are you saying
let
you
me
can't
get it off, Jill? Let
me get it off, bro. Respectfully.
L host.
All I'm saying,
go ahead, man. You got it. The floor is yours.
This, man. All I'm saying is this, okay? Jamal Crawford does not get subbed into the game, and then they go right to him. In some occasions, depending on the matchups, they may go to him. But I've seen games on the Clippers and in other situations where he may go 4 or 5 trips without touching the ball. But then when he touches the ball, because he is a natural born scorer, like PG is, right? He don't need no damn rhythm, bro. That's what they do. They do that shit inside they sleep. So you tell me that player, Paul George, who is arguably one of the most skilled players in the last 10, 15 years, he needs to touch the pill to get a rhythm. When scoring the basketball, that's what he does in his sleep. I seen PG here at Fresno State, bro. My boy played with him. You think PG need a rhythm? No. He's a bro. You're a star for a reason. We're not talking about no goddamn rotational player. We're talking about star players. You think MJ, Kevin Durant, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, you know what I'm saying, need to catch a rhythm? Absolutely not. That's why they're star players, bro. What are you talking about, man?
I'm glad you brought that up, sir. So I think MJ was a bad example. I think Kevin Durant was a bad example.
Well, scores.
And I'm glad you brought up scoring because again, when you got guys like Lou Williams, when you got guys like Jamal Crawford, They come into the game to do one thing. Jamal Crawford is not on the floor to rebound. He's not on the floor to defend. He's not on the floor to facilitate. He is on the floor to do one thing. I have you on the floor to score the basketball, just like the Miami Heat have Duncan Robinson on the floor to score the basketball. So when he comes on the floor, what does Eric Spoelstra do? He calls his number. He calls his number. Why? To get him in rhythm. They don't run up and down the floor 5, 6, 7, 8 trips. No, because that's his job. So when Jamal Crawford walks onto the floor, he calls his number immediately because that's his job. Paul George, on the other hand, who's running with Russell Westbrook, does need to get into a rhythm. Why? Because I got a guy like Russell Westbrook who's shooting the basketball 5, 6, 7 trips. I'm not just going to come on the floor, catch the basketball after I haven't touched it. Forget the fact of shooting it. The fact that I haven't touched it in 6 trips. I haven't touched it. I'm not going to get into a rhythm. That's not basketball. Scorers, they get into a rhythm, and once they get into a rhythm, what we call that is it's like a horse working up a lather. Horses don't just jump out and they're immediately fast. No, they work up a lather. The same thing with scorers.
So when Kevin Durant played with Westbrook, and Russ would go on these tangents, right, and go 4 shots, 5 shots in a row, did KD need a rhythm? No, because Kevin Durant is a legitimate scorer. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, when Lou Williams got traded to my Rockets, and James Harden was the initial playmaker and facilitator, they didn't go to Lou Williams right away, bro. But Lou Williams touched a pill 4 or 5 trips down the floor. He was a scorer. My point is this, man. I'm not giving no star player no excuse, bro. If you're Paul George, I don't care if you ain't touched a pill in 10 possessions, bro. You're that great, and I respect your game at a level where I don't care about any of that nonsense, bro. Put the ball in the basket. So chill. You mean to tell me that because PG didn't touch it for 4, 5, 6 trips, that warrants him going 2 for 16 versus Utah?
You just mentioned that.
No, I'm asking you a question, man.
Hold on, I'm going to answer your question, man. So
Cool.
you just mentioned Lou Williams on your Houston Rockets with James Harden, even though he hasn't shot it, but he did touch it 5, 6 trips in a row. And the reason why he touched it is to get himself in rhythm.
That's not what I said, bro. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you just said.
No,
We can
what I
rewind
said
it.
was- No, bro, that's not what I said, Showtown.
What'd you say?
Don't misquote me, bro.
If that's not what you said,
man.
what did you say?
I said Lou Williams got traded to the Rockets. He is a 6 man. He's known for scoring the basketball. But
Right.
James Harden was a primary playmaker and facilitator. They would go 4 or 5 trips without Lou Williams touching
You
the
didn't say
basketball.
that. You didn't say without.
Yes, I
You
did,
did
bro.
not say
Yes,
that.
I
No, you
did.
didn't. Why did I bring it up?
Lou touched the basketball.
Why did I bring it up? Why would I bring that up if you didn't say that?
Actually, something. I don't know,
The
bro.
reason why I brought it up is because you
I don't
said
know.
that.
I can't speak for
So
you.
again, what we're doing,
I can't
what
speak for
we're
you.
doing is we're going around the point. You again,
Okay.
you just again, we're going around the point. You just talked about Lou Williams. We're
Yeah.
talking about scorers being in rhythm. I just told you, Paul George, who is a natural scorer, when Russell Westbrook shoots the basketball, 5, 6, 7 straight trips without Paul George touching the basketball.
Okay.
He's not in rhythm. So that's why Paul George, who at that point, after 6 or 7 trips, now gets the basketball and now has to work himself back into rhythm, as opposed to already being in rhythm because he's at least at minimum touching the basketball. Now, as a basketball player, I know what rhythm is like. As a scorer, I know what rhythm is like. Paul George, it's not because what your logic is your logic is stepping onto the floor and I'm just nice and you can give me the ball whenever, wherever. I don't have to touch the ball for 10 minutes and I'm still going to score the basketball. That is not true, sir.
Hey,
The
Ron,
reason why
before
that's
I
not
go,
true-
man.
The reason why that's not true, is because scorers, they get into a rhythm immediately. So
Okay.
I think we're done here.
Well, before Ron, just real quick, and then I'm off, bro. What Chilltown just said makes completely no sense. Okay, because again, bro, if your job is to be a elite scorer or just a scorer in this league, and first of all, Chilltown, I mean, you said that you know how to feel to be a scorer, bro, but you're not scoring like PG scores.
No, I did not.
You ain't scoring like PG scores. You know what I'm saying? At 6'9" with the total package. Now you mean to tell me because PG ain't touched a pill for all these possessions, that warrants him going for 2 for 16? Bro, your job is to score the basketball. Now, granted, I understand the rhythm. I understand touches. I understand, the flow of the offense. I get all that. So your point isn't all the way flawed.
So if you understood that, hold on. So if you understood that, then my point is valid.
No.
But you don't understand that.
You cut me off, bro. No. I understand your logic and what you're saying. So I'm not going to fight you on it all the way. All I'm saying is this. That logic is true for certain players. I'm not giving no above average score on that level, that type of excuse, bro, because he's so gifted, so talented. I don't care if he ain't touched the rock in 10 possessions, bro. If you're Paul George at 6'9", playing the Utah Jazz with Ingles, Donovan Mitchell, who else? Ricky Rubio, bro. You go 2 for 16. Royce O'Neal, put the ball in the basket. Ain't no excuses, bro. Put the ball in the basket. Because guess what, Showtown? MJ in 92, right, was benched by Phil Jackson versus the Blazers, right? Had no rhythm. Came back in the game in the fourth quarter, and what happened? 3 straight shots. He didn't need no goddamn rhythm. Want to know why? He's a natural born scorer. Tracy McGrady, natural born. No, I'm giving you an example of a guy who ain't touched a pill in a while. Came in the game and got buckets.
Are we talking about the same Jordan who throughout the game was touching the basketball as opposed to Paul George?
We're talking about the same Michael Jordan.
We're doing. No, we're not.
Bro, you
no, we're not. We're not talking. We're not talking about the same thing.
He was benched in the fourth quarter. Came back in with about 4 or 5 minutes to go and made 2 or 3 tough shots. What are you talking about, man? Right, if you're a scorer, you're a scorer, man.
Okay,
you easy work, man. Stop lying to the people.
So, Matt, are you saying that Paul George isn't a scorer?
No. I'm saying that Paul George is a scorer and screw rhythm, bro. He ain't no role player. Role players need rhythm.
Role players don't.
So you're just saying it's no excuses for Paul George going 2 for 16.
Run 0, bro. He's an above average scorer, bro. No excuses.
Which one is it? Is he an above average scorer and is he an elite scorer? Because you just said that Michael Jordan and Paul George as scorers are basically the same. So which one is it? Ron, get this dude out of here.
What's he talking about, man?
Ain't talking about nothing.
Wrong with this guy or something, man?
Get him out of here, Ron. I'm done with this dude. Goodbye, yo.
But he compared Jamal Crawford
to
Paul George.
Goodbye.
Yeah, easy work, man.
Goodbye.
We gonna catch you later. All right.
Goodbye.
All right, man. Easy work, girl town.
Be easy. Out of here. Oh my God.
Only on PC, baby.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me right now?
I would like to hear
Ron, you are an L host, Ron, because that was the 10 worst minutes of television. We were talking about Paul fucking George.
Hey, y'all
come up here. It was entertaining though, Fluent. The crowd was engaged in that one. I'm looking at the chat. They're engaged.
Are they engaged? Oh, okay. I wasn't looking at the chat.
That's what we here for, Toe. That's why we here. What are you talking about?
You gotta cook things like that sometimes, man. Sometimes they talk that stuff in their comment section, man.
Look, we're not supposed to talk about Paul George.
For real? No. Paul George wasn't elite.
What?
If I'm not mistaken,
we should be talking about Thomas Bryant.
I think Paul George, if I'm not mistaken, that year, I think he finished second in. I think he was the top 5. I think he was top 5 that year in league MVP votes in 2018. If I'm not mistaken,
I think it was the next year.
Was it 19 or 18?
Yeah,
did you get some good?
One of those years.
Right.
Hey Mars, I gotta ask you a question. Do you and Bob sleep?
For real?
Bro, listen. I'm gonna tell y'all something about Mars. Mars got to be like 6 hours ahead of us, right?
Yeah.
I looked at the chat last night, like around 12 o'clock a.m. Mars is up chatting basketball.
Which means it's like 6 o'clock in the morning over there.
Hold on. I'm like, what is this guy sleep? I'm thinking like, and I look at Bob. Bob is on live 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what is this guy sleep? Man, you guys are great, man. Like, I love
you. More super chats.
You told us like a month or two ago. You said, hey, y'all got to start going live. I'm like, bro, I only got a couple followers. Then you start posting my link, got me some helped me get some more followers, and was like, nah, y'all got to go live. So shit, I just took your advice. And then you just had 100,000. I'm trying to get like you.
I'm 38 away. I'm 38 away from starting to post my year by year NBA content starting from year 1. I'm 38 subscribers away. Yeah. So go.
We're gonna check this out.
What's your channel?
You already know.
Say that one more time for those who don't know.
Sports Fluent.
I'm gonna repost this channel on mine just so we can go over there and mess with this dude.
Like that right there on the screen.
I can't see it, but sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got almost 2,000 people in here.
Oh yeah, right.
He needs 38. Y'all go ahead.
Can't wait to hear Fluent talking about Joe Folks. I can't wait.
Yeah, the first all-time leading scorer in the NBA.
I can't wait till we get the Fluent and Dub series when he pulls Dub up live, and it's those two.
Just the Dub get cooked again. Huh?
Wow,
it's not great content. that's
I'm
not very
staying. My understanding is Dub's a little toxic right now with this whole civil rights thing. I'm staying away from Dub.
Gotta love it. Hey, I told you, Tone, you gotta love it. You have to love it. You have to.
I
Gotta love it.
Staying away from that.
All right, y'all. Diving into these super chats that we do have. Alan R said, "Respect Brady, New England, and NFL GOAT."
No. He's the
No.
quarterback GOAT. Please don't get that confused, guys. He's a quarterback GOAT.
Patrick Mahomes. That's fine.
Soon.
Right.
Hit 44 said, "Ingles had Paul George scared. Russ carried."
They lost. Who cares who carried?
Angie Carr said, "Dub Ox on 24-hour stream with special guest Stephanie too."
That's dope.
Bob
not
was
71?
Turkish music. Bob was listening to Turkish music last night on the stream. I said, "This boy." I turned Bob check. Bob always got something going on over there.
Hey, that was fire. Hey, one dude was really dumping, but then they said copyright that.
Hey, Bob, you told him, you was like, "Man, y'all ain't about to stream like for real." I said, "Boy, this boy don't sleep at all." Man,
I'm trying to get to it.
I feel you.
Jason the Kid said, "Mass easy work. I will cook him." Lit One said, "Mr. Mass is Dylan Brooks and Chilltown is LeBron."
Dog.
That's crazy.
Damn, chills on PEDs. That's crazy.
That makes a lot of sense, Mars. That makes a lot of sense.
K Jimma 89 said, "Mass looks like a black penguin, Mr. Penguin from Batman."
Oh.
No need for that. No need for that.
FIFA Boy said, "Mass, you making Houston look bad."
We can't look bad in Houston. Shout out to Jalen Green.
NPNKA said, "Mars, the GOAT is joining Miami, so it's Miami in 6."
Yeah, the GOAT tends to lose on the biggest stage. That's why he only has 4 Champions League titles.
The
I give
retirement
Mars
league.
2 years before he dips on Houston Rockets, by the way. 2 years.
2. I ain't going that far.
The moment Jalen Green is gone, I'm gone.
Get traded, he out.
Yeah, the moment Jalen Green is gone, I'm gone.
Hey, I will say this though, Chilltown. If it don't work out for the Lakers, look for LeBron to Miami to be one of those landing spots. If Miami loses this year in the finals and it doesn't go well for the Lakers next year, look for LeBron to probably opt out and look at Miami as a real destination for him to go to that team, the way that team is set up right now. I would look at that because he's already said that's one place that he would go.
Victor Calles said, "Mass says the same 2 things. PG is a born scorer, and what are you saying, bro? No examples, no situations. This is sad. Respect for stopping by."
He brought
Appreciate
Michael
you,
Jordan.
Mr. Mass.
Michael Jordan was an example and a situation.
Michael Jordan was a good example. Like when he said, "I hit a couple of shots and got in rhythm, and then it was really easy after that." But rhythm doesn't exist for scorers.
But he did bring up the example in the situation. So I'm just he did bring up an example.
Sanders Price said, "Dudes here talking about another guy looks is sus."
That's why I said there's no need for that. There's no need for that.
I don't know what that means.
Hit 44 said, "Kawhi is also a whack teammate for not getting Paul George in rhythm. Shooting Johns off the side of the backboard. Kawhi should have got him touches."
That's a Philly dude right there. That's what they say, Johns. So John is like joint. John is a thing. John could be anything. So that's a Philly dude right there. Shout out to Philly.
No shout outs to Philly.
Idawu Sanusi said that Mr. Mass sounds crazy. All scorers need rhythm.
No, they don't. You could just step on the floor and you not touch the basketball for 10 trips.
As a scorer myself, I don't need rhythm. I'm just
not everyone could be me. Not everyone could be me shooting. I can shoot.
Knock it off. You might step on the floor. You might knock down your first 2 shots, and you might miss your next 8.
If I step on the floor, the ball better not touch my hands because it's going to be a shot.
Right. But if it doesn't touch your hands for 6 trips,
it's still going to be a shot. It just might not go in.
Find a way.
It might not go in.
It might be a swing at the point guard for not getting it.
Scorers don't need this. Scorers don't need rhythm.
Angie Carr said, "Ticket sitting back rubbing his hands like Birdman."
What happened to that?
K Jimma 89 said, "Mass only touched a pizza. Not the court trying. Not the court trying. OG shaking my head.
Oh,
I like pizza.
Scoot with a question from Mars' squad. He said, "Can the Rockets make a playoff run next year?"
We're going to. We're gonna be.
So-
we're gonna be
no.
pushing for the. We're gonna be pushing for the
They're
play.
going to be running from the playoffs.
No,
For a
we're
high
gonna be.
draft.
We're gonna be. Our pick is only top 4 protected. So either we tank, or we don't
Right.
get our pick.
so Mars,
I don't think we're gonna tank. So I think we're gonna try and be competitive.
So
And I
does
think
that
we're
mean
gonna
that
try and be
Danny
the
Ainge lied when he said that Kaka was a better coach than Ime?
Well, I think Ime is a better coach than Joe Mazzulla. But I mean, I think they're both solid coaches. I think Ime is going to do a good job for us. I think we can't afford to tank.
Hold on,
because
you think Joe
we
Mazzulla's a
don't have a
solid?
pick. Yeah, I think he's solid. I think he's okay. You don't, I don't get what he's
Are you
done.
serious?
Okay means average. If you think he's below average,
Yeah, I thought you was trolling on that. Yeah,
So
I think he's an average coach.
Silas
I think
level. I think he's
yeah.
on Steven Silas level.
I think you're a little bit better than that, Ticket. I do.
No.
Steven
Okay.
Silas. Oh
He was
my
handed the keys- he was handed the keys to a phantom, bro. Sorry.
Steven Silas.
Let me ask
So
you a
you
question.
think he's the
I was
worst
gonna-
coach in the NBA?
I was going to ask you, Ticket. If you ask Steven,
Wait, so
Silas,
you think Joe Mazzulla is the worst coach in the NBA?
What does he do with the same team that
well, that's what I'm saying. If Steve Silas gets that Boston job, does he take them to the Eastern Conference
I
Championship?
don't even know if they make the playoffs. I don't even know if they make the playoffs.
They ain't down 3-0 to Miami,
They're not against Miami. They lose to Philly.
man.
They might lose to Atlanta.
That's what I was about to say.
know.
Do they get because it sounds like they'll get past Atlanta.
Like I said before, at least
Steven
Steven
Silas is terrible.
Man, Steven Silas was train wreck from the beginning when James Harden left, bro.
No, I
He
agree.
did.
He got
He
sabotaged. He
Yeah,
100%
he
got
never had a
sabotaged.
fair shot.
Yes,
But he was
He
still
did.
terrible.
He got
even with
jerked.
the
He got
sabotage. He was
definitely got
terrible.
jerked.
Never had
But let's not let Mars off the hook. Mars, just so you know, the play-in tournament, the 10th seed, it's going to take 40 games in the Western Conference to get in. That means that's an 18-game improvement for your Houston Rockets, right?
I
think y'all won like 20, 22 games, something like that, almost 20 games.
22. Yep,
So
22.
okay, so that's an 18 game. So depending on who you get with this number 4 pick, whether you draft somebody or you trade it, what's the theory on you guys being 18 plus more wins? Because when I think about 18 plus more wins, I think about franchise players giving you 18 plus more wins. Like Jordan did that, James did that. You know, those guys give you 18 more wins as opposed to 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. Okay, first of all, Steven Silas took away wins from us, so we weren't a 22 win team. Steven Silas just was terrible. So
y'all were better than 22. Actually.
Yeah, so realistically, we're like a 28, 29 win team. He cost us about 7 wins. So in that point, I think we're starting from about a 30 win baseline. Ime Udoka coming in helps us a lot. Jalen Green with another year of development will be used properly now. He won't be used as his primary on-ball creator, having to initiate pick and rolls. He'll be used more as an off-ball scorer who can attack off of the creation of guys like Sengun, of guys like Kevin Porter Jr., giving him easier looks. Jabari Smith Jr. will have another year of development to be his Trevor Ariza self. So his shot will be better. His defense will be much better. I believe we're going to get Amen Thompson with the number 1 pick, who I think is a great dynamic point guard for us, who can get downhill.
Who's the point guard? I'm sorry, Mars, you went out.
Amen Thompson is who I think we're going to draft.
Okay, I'm with you.
I think we're going to draft him. Tremendous athlete, can get downhill, create looks for guys, get kicking out. Alperen Sengun will be used more as a facilitator as well, and we'll get the ball away from Jalen Green in positions where he doesn't need the ball. He doesn't need to be a facilitator.
Mars.
And I think that will get us about a 500 team. And I think
you think those adjustments that Joe Mazzulla could have made? No.
No, I think Ime's better than Joe Mazzulla.
No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about undercut. I'm talking about Steven Silas.
Oh, no, he's not
listen, I think he's on the same level coaching as Steven Silas. I think
Steven Silas was actively working against us.
Like if you look at Fluent right now, Fluent, clean cut guy. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he got a little bit of money. But if I hand Fluent the keys to a hoopty, that's different than if I hand him the keys to a Phantom Rolls Royce. That's different. The old boy got handed the keys to a Phantom Rolls Royce, a team that already was in the finals, and he did worse. Matter of fact, they should have lost earlier. If Philly would have did what they were supposed to, they'd have closed them dudes out. I don't see Steven Silas as that bad, bro. I thought Steven Silas was more of a well-rounded and more ready than Kaka was for his job. I thought Steven Silas was more Steven Silas been an assistant for years.
I mean this as politely as I don't think he was watching as many Houston games to form an opinion on Steven Silas. Because if you were watching as many Houston games as I had to put myself through, he is egregious.
I watched a couple of them. They were bad.
He is egregious. He's admitted openly he doesn't run plays for Jabari Smith Jr. He said Alperen Sengun isn't a great passer, which is just a lie. He made that up. I don't know what he said about that. I watched him try to get his team to run a horn set. They were clueless. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. And
what are you guys doing?
He wasn't given a good situation. I agree. He thought he was coming in to coach James Harden and Houston trying to be competitive. And then James Harden pulled the carpet from under him. I agree. He's still terrible. And I'm sorry. I watched about 82 games. I watched about 50 games of Houston this year.
All due respect,
coached well in 0 of them.
All due respect, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. It's a lot of coaches that's like that, and I don't know how Chill or Fluent feel about this, or maybe Bob. I feel like this. I feel like if Steve Kerr gets the Knicks job instead of the Warriors job, we never hear.
He was out the league. He out the league in 2 years.
Now, do you agree with that, Fluent?
He out the league in 2 years.
Maybe one.
If Steve Kerr coaches the Knicks.
If you took the Knicks out,
he's about a dude that's supposed to be an all-time.
He's not
he out the league in 2 years.
The Knicks. We're talking about him like we're talking about Steven Silas. Am I right or wrong?
I think he out the league in 2 years.
Go ahead, Fluent.
I'm with that. No, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Thank you. So that's what I'm saying to Mars. That's what I'm saying to you, Mars. It all depends on what you get handed, bro. If you hand Steven Silas the Golden State Warriors, his team gonna look different. If you hand him the Boston Celtics, he gonna look different. If you hand this man the Houston Rockets the way they were, what do you think you're gonna get?
I just don't think he should be the worst coach in the league.
Man, all right, go ahead, Ron.
Angie Carr said, think Silver used the CBA to get the PA to comply?
I think Silver used the CBA.
Comply with what? What?
With this job thing.
Oh. I mean, possibly. Anytime there's something to do with money, I mean, that's going to get people to comply. So it's possible.
Right.
Anything is possible.
All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Before I do wrap it up, I got one more super chat. Alanar has a conspiracy theory.
Facts.
He said, what if Mars is actually
100% facts
with 5
right
kids?
Mars ain't fooling me with that baby face. Mars really like 36 years old. He got 4 kids and a wife. Mars, you think you slick?
I mean, you guys would never know. You guys would never.
Right?
know.
Exactly.
Hey man, I might have to stop being a Dame Dollar fan, man. CJ McCollum just came out and said he thinks that Dame is done in Portland, man. That's crazy, bro.
Can you blame him?
No, but listen, I blame him because of this. You went and talked all that stuff to Paul George and them, talking about how they were switching teams and switching sides and ducking the ground.
Oh, he's a hypocrite. Okay.
And now you talking about being traded to the Miami Heat? Come on.
But
man.
no. In fairness, he was asked between these teams, which would you rather go to? And he said, well, I would choose Miami.
Okay.
So
it's not like he's asking out and saying like I want to.
Not like he said I want to go to Miami. He said, "Hey,
like James Harden."
I don't think Portland's are going to trade him. I think they're going to trade.
You would look at him differently, right, Tone?
I agree.
If he asked for a trade to
I don't think he's getting traded either. I agree with that.
They're gonna trade the pick and try to get him a star, and it's gonna work terribly. But that's what they're gonna do.
Dame needs to go to the GM, to the owners, and tell them, look, I know I said what I said when I said it, but I was just bullshitting. Get me up out of here.
Yesterday's price ain't today's price, Big Ox.
Yeah, let me go.
What I said yesterday, don't trip on that. That was yesterday. Nah, man, I'm on something different today.
That's the grind.
Right. Hey, I love to be able to go right up the street to the Motor Center and check out Dame Lillard any night. But for the sake of Dame, for the sake of the franchise, man, this marriage is over.
He's been there. He's been up there 12 years, right? And in the 12 years he was up there.
2012,
Yep. So
it's time to split amicably. It's
right. Sure. It's not like it's bad. The time that they had to upgrade that roster was in the 2018-19 season when they went to the Western Conference Championship, when they got smoked by the Golden State Warriors. That was the time to upgrade that roster. But instead, they basically ran it back. And everybody else in the West, Memphis, the Lakers, all of these other teams got better, and they didn't, which was why which is why you saw the results that you saw with the Portland Trailblazers, and it's been going this way ever since. Dame, I think he had 3 60-point games that year, and that's what it was taken in order for them to win, because they never really upgraded that roster by getting Whiteside, who, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Whiteside is formidable, but I don't think he's that much of an upgrade. And I don't think they did that much to upgrade that roster for Damian Lillard. No, they didn't.
They should just
Hey,
trade
JJ,
Dame,
JJ,
build around the pick, and
Still in the
shade
chat,
Shot.
JJ. Let's go check out the page, JJ. I changed it just for you, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
You change it.
All right, fellas, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Appreciate
Yes, sir.
everybody for tuning in. Subscribe and like the video on the way out. And I'm gonna leave you guys with this as we go. This Friday, June 9th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm.
Mhm.
Chill with chill coming soon.